7 teams remain in the hunt for the NWA Tag Team Championship. Rick Rude, Stunning Steve Austin, Dustin Rhodes, and Barry Windham. The Fabulous Freebirds. The team representing Japan, Ricky Steamboat and Nikita Koloff. Flying Brian, Jushin Thunder Liger. And one team already in the semifinals, Dr. Death and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. And then with a world title, it's Sting and Big Van Vader as we present the Great American Bash. You're looking live at the Albany Civic Center, and it's packed to the rafters for World Championship Wrestling's Summertime Extravaganza in July. It's the Great American Bash. Hi, everybody. This is Tony Schiavone, along with the boss, Magnum TA, and we're set for one of the biggest events of all time in World Championship Wrestling because Sting and his biggest challenge, Big Van Vader, for the World Heavyweight title.
I've been here all day and I've watched the competitors come in. I saw Sting come in, had his game face on, but he said, I got confidence. All the Stingers are behind me and I'm not going to let them down. The world's heavyweight title is staying right here.
NWA Tag Team Championship will be decided tonight. I talked about Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy already in the semifinals. They got there by defeating the Steiners at the Clash of the Champions back on June 22nd, and that was a hard-hitting match.
And Tony, it took the whole world by surprise. Nobody thought it was going to happen. Scott Steiner suffering a severe knee injury at the hands of Steve Dr. Death Williams. And then as he had them all set up, had Doc set up, it was Terry from behind. It was a colossal upset, but we saw the Steiners eliminated from this very prestigious tournament.
Okay, now one other team, the Japanese team, we mentioned, of course, prior to the broadcast, it would be Akira Nogami and Hase. However, Nogami has suffered an eye injury, and he is not here. The NWA board has unanimously decided that because of the eye injury, and now you're seeing some footage of Akira Nogami at the ophthalmologist back in Tokyo, because of the injury, that Shinya Hashimoto will take his place. How do you think that's going to do in that match with the Freebirds?
Well, I know the Japanese contingency are very shrewd people, and I know that the replacement they put in Nagami's place will be more than up to the challenge, and these guys could be a real dark horse now in this contest.
It is going to be a tremendous tournament. As the tournament breaks down, we have 3 teams right now in the quarterfinals as we take a look at the brackets for the NWA tournament. Flying Brian Jushin Thunder Liger against Nikita Koloff and Ricky Steamboat. Winner of that match will face Doc and Gordy in the semifinals. Then Hase and Hashimoto against the Freebirds. Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham against Ravishing Rick Rude and Stunning Steve Austin. The winners of those 2 bottom matches go on to meet in the other semifinals. So we are set to go with a tremendous night of competition hosted by World Championship Wrestling. And to take you to the play-by-play and to talk more about the world title matchup between Sting and Big Van Vader, let's go down to ringside. Jim Ross and Jesse the Body Ventura.
Thank you very much, Tony Schiavone and Jesse. Indeed, a lot of anticipation regarding this contest. It seems that the champion, the Stinger, even though he's got unlimited support from the Little Stingers, may go in this match, according to the skeptics, according to the media, as the underdog.
That's right, and that's very rare in the world of professional wrestling, where the champion is actually considered the underdog. But you know, Big Van Vader, the guy weighs in at close to 450 pounds, 6'5". You gotta look at him as the odds-on favorite. I don't think Sting can survive against him.
It's gonna be quite a contest, ladies and gentlemen. That will be decided. And one man that certainly knows about championships is Cowboy Bill Watts. He is standing by right now with Eric Bischoff.
Thanks, Jim. And joining me now, the Executive Vice President of World Championship Wrestling, Mr. Bill Watts. So what a tremendous night for you, Mr. Watts. 2 world titles to be decided here. First, the NWA World Tag Team Championships, and then, of course, the main event where Sting defends his WCW World's Heavyweight title against Big Van Vader. But could you take a moment and explain the rules in these 2 different championship matches?
Well, thank you, Eric. First of all, we're very happy to present this great pay-per-view to the public out there. And there has been a lot of controversy about the rules, but you got to realize, just like the American League and the National League in baseball have rules, one has the designated hitter, the other has the pitcher come up to bat each time, or like in amateur wrestling, in freestyle, and in NCAA collegiate catch-as-catch-can, there are rules differences. The athletes can easily adapt to them. The one rule difference is on the National Wrestling Alliance Tag Team Tournament, the top rope rule is in effect. They can do anything they want off the top rope. In the WCW World's title with Sting and Big Van Vader, if you jump off the top rope onto your opponent, it's a disqualification. That doesn't mean that if you slam him off the top rope or you suplex each other off the top rope or both of you fall off the top rope together, has nothing to do with it. But I'd say one thing about it. No matter what the rules are, It's still an athletic contest, and there's 2 world titles to be decided today. So the bottom line is, right here, let's go hook 'em up!
All right, let's get up to Gary Michael Cappetta.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first contest of the Great American Bash Pay-Per-View. It is a quarter-final contest in the NWA Tag Team Tournament set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing team number 1, first from Cincinnati, Ohio, 225 pounds, Flying Brian. His tag team partner from Tokyo, Japan, 215 pounds, Jushin Thunder Liger.
Liger and Pillman making their way to the ring here. 2 former WCW light heavyweight champions in action. And I gotta think they're gonna allow the fact that this match contested the NWA rules, Jess, off the top rope, completely legal.
Well, that's going to give a big advantage to Liger and Pillman because both of these competitors like to go off that top rope. NWA, they'll be able to use it. Let's go back to Gary Kapetsky in the ring.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents. Introducing first, formerly of Lithuania, now residing in the United States of America. He weighs 120 kilos, Nikita Koloff. His tag team partner from Charlotte, North Carolina, 230 pounds, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who on 5 occasions has held the NWA Tag Team Championship. 4 times with the late Jay Youngblood, 1 time with Paul Jones. Nikita Koloff has been an NWA Tag Champion on 2 occasions. So as far as experience is concerned, I think we have to cast our vote for Koloff and Steamboat using that criteria. But the off-the-top rope offense that can be generated by Pillman and Liger may offset the experience advantage, Jim.
Also, too, you got to look at it. Koloff and Steamboat are going to have a definite weight advantage. You know, they're 2 legitimate heavyweight wrestlers where Liger and Pillman are light heavyweights. And there you see something rare in today's world of wrestling. Look at that. The 4 combatants shaking hands prior to the contest.
This quarterfinal matchup, the first of 3 quarterfinal matches you will see, has a 1 fall or 30-minute time limit. It will be Flying Brian starting out with powerful Nikita Koloff.
Now, I wouldn't expect Flying Brian's going to want to get down on the mat with Nikita. He's going to want to stay on his feet and do as much stuff as he can on his feet and not get down on that mat with Koloff. He's given up far too much weight.
Collar and elbow tie-up. Both men jockeying for position here in the early going. Pillman with a side headlock. Koloff trying a waist lock. And there you see the strength that Koloff possesses. Could be a big factor in this contest.
Well, that's what Liger and Pillman are going to have to put up with. They're not going to be able to go into the ring and go strength against Nikita Koloff. No way.
Pillman again with the advantage near his corner. Koloff with the forearms to the ribs, a legal maneuver. And Pillman came off with momentum, but the mass of Koloff, his body weight.
Well, there you got the classic example of a heavyweight meeting a light heavyweight. Pillman with all the momentum coming off the rope, but the immovable object standing out there and knocking him down in Nikita Koloff. And you know, I personally don't like Koloff.
Why is that?
I don't care for men that physically abuse women.
Well, neither do I. I'm sure that no one does. But,
wait a minute, Ross. Don't tell me you don't know what he did to Medusa.
I didn't say that. I said no one adheres to anyone abusing a lady, but maybe she isn't a lady. But be that as it may, front face lock applied by Flying Brian. And again, Koloff showing his tremendous strength. And we got a little fireworks here. Pillman with a drop kick, caught Koloff in the face. Right here in the corner, a knife edge right in the chest. And Koloff comes out of the corner. Both legs are hooked there. Inverted atomic drop, sending Pillman back to the corner. Koloff backing up. Puts on the brakes. Pillman moved out of the way. He's got a cradle and he got a near fall, got 2 out of it.
Well, he's going to have to work on Nikita Koloff. Here comes Liger off the top.
Pillman and Liger make the exchange. Liger now working on the arm of Nikita Koloff here. Taking the wrist another turn, makes another quick exchange. The Flying Brian, they're already using the top rope to try to gain an advantage by doing so, and it looks like it's working.
Well, it's a smart move on the part of Pillman and Jushin Liger. Quick tags in and out, keeping fresh. They've got Nikita Koloff cut off in that half of the ring, and they're wearing the big man down, and they're taking away one of his extremities, the arm.
Another quick tag. Here comes Flying Brian back in.
And you know what else that could take away? If they hurt that arm bad enough, it takes away the Russian sickle from him, because he won't be able to use that.
There's the tag. Karate kicks by the high-flying Jushin Thunder Liger, taking Koloff's shoulder to the turnbuckle. And they're keeping Koloff in their half of the ring. Several quick tags here by Pillman and Liger. Interesting strategy here in the early going. Koloff on that vertical base is very deadly, as Jesse the Body Ventura pointed out earlier. Liger's got to figure out another way to get the big man off his feet as he goes to the ropes again. Slides quickly through the legs, and a drop kick. Koloff is staggered, and this time he goes down. Liger, that running shoulder block, took Koloff off his feet and makes another quick tag to Flying Brian Pillman.
Well, the drop kick staggered Koloff, got him off balance, lost the center of gravity, and then Jushin was able to hit him with that shoulder block and knock the big man off his feet. And again, smart wrestling. They're back to the arm again. They've got it injured. They're going after it.
Koloff catches Pillman this time, coming off with the elbow. And wisely makes the tag to the popular Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Steamboat, the great drop kick. Caught Pillman in the face there, and he snap-bears Liger from the outside back in. Somewhat uncharacteristic of, was there a tag made? I missed it.
I'm not sure. As far as I know, Pillman's still the legal man in there.
And Liger came right out on his partner.
Referee going to have to make a decision here. As far as I know, Brian Pillman is still the legal man in the ring. Jushin Thunder Liger is not.
Well, this one is, again, a single elimination tournament. The winner of this contest will advance to the semifinals to meet Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy, the new WCW World Tag Team Champions, who will be attempting to make it a sweep in 7 days. Can they gain the World and NWA titles? And we'll find out right here on the Great American Bash as Steamboat uses the arm bar to ground Air Pillman.
Jim Ross will find out in a matter of hours.
Wrist lock by Koloff, or by Steamboat, excuse me. Quick movement in this contest, and Koloff, or excuse me, again, Steamboat catching Flying Brian and puts him down with a clothesline, arm drag takedown. Vintage Ricky the Dragon Steamboat controlling the tempo here. He's dictating the pace now that he's in there offensively.
Great combination of moves by the Dragon right there. Finished it off with the arm drag, and now he's got Brian Pillman's arm into an arm bar right there, putting the pressure on him.
Pillman and Liger advanced by beating the team from Canada. Koloff beat the Malenkos. Good counter move there by Flying Brian. Front face lock, but he makes the tag, holding Steamboat in the corner now. Double team offense by this explosive team of light heavyweights. Double drop kick.
Where's the referee?
Referee was putting Flying Brian out. Single leg pickup by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. What exchange this could be offensive between these two. Shoulder block. He got all of it. Can't hook the leg, and Liger able to kick out.
Well, I'll tell you what, Steamboat lucked out right there. Had the referee been in proper position, it could have been a 3 count.
Oh, what a slam. Koloff using all that strength to scoop up Liger, who weighed in at 215. Another elbow, and Liger, again, very wisely, Jess, makes a tag.
Well, I don't know if it was by any choice. He caught that elbow and flew into his own corner, and it was more a tag of survival, getting Brian Pillman back in there. And here's a tag now, and the Dragon comes in And you notice Koloff cutting off the ring now on Pillman.
I think Koloff and Steamboat feel that they have the best chance of winning this match by wrestling a mat wrestling situation. That's exactly what you're seeing here. That's
Well, the unique thing as far as the Koloff-Steamboat combination goes, you're going to have two very different styles. Koloff, the power man, he's going to stick down on the mat. But Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, he can go airborne with these two light heavyweights if he wants to.
going back up to a vertical base, relieving some pressure there. Fire Steamboat off, going the far side, coming right back at you here. And great elevation, and the back body drop. Now can Flying Brian capitalize? Going for the elbow drop, he caught it. He's got the leg hook. He's got two, and that's it. Oh, I thought he had him there. Another drop kick. Pillman turning up the burner here. Another 2 count. Side headlock takeover. Both teams obviously not wanting to make any major mistakes in the early going.
Well, we got a wrestling match here, plain and simple. Endurance is going to come into play as time wears on. Maybe the two light heavyweights will have the advantage. They don't have to push around as much weight as Koloff does. In fact, I'll go on record. I think the longer the match goes, the advantage might go to Liger and Pillman.
Tremendous martial arts kick by Liger. There's a backbreaker. He's going up top. Here it comes. He got the moonsault. He's got it. He'll win it here. No, oh, Steamboat able to kick out. Did Koloff get the foot? I'm not sure. Well, that was close. A gut wrench into a tombstone pile driver position. Can he hit it? Oh, yes, he does. This should be all. And Steamboat again got the left shoulder up.
Well, Liger going heavily on the offense here. He's coming off the rope. Whoa! A somersault, much like Edouard Carpentier of the old days.
Another near fall. Liger really pulling out all the stops here. Steamboat's got a counter, and he did. Great counter move, and more importantly, makes the tag after the belly-to-back suplex. Great counter wrestling by Steamboat, and great survival instincts. A kick right to the solar plexus by big Nikita Koloff. Drops the elbow into the gut, and another one finds its mark. Koloff coming with a heavy artillery here. A lateral press, a leg is hooked, and he got two.
And Liger's in major trouble now. Koloff weighing in at about 265, 270 pounds, dropping those elbows into the much lighter 215-pound Jushin Thunder Liger. And now a reverse chin lock, and you notice how Koloff is leaning that weight on Liger. Liger's gonna wear out. He better get out of this hold. He better not allow Koloff to put the pressure and the weight on him for too long.
Liger trying to get to his feet. Most prudent thing to do in this position, quite obviously. The elbow to the solar plexus, making a pair of them. And Koloff gets him coming off with a big knee right to the abdomen and tags in Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And now let's see what Steamboat can do with Liger. Liger had Steamboat in trouble their last exchange. Scoops him up, and there's a backbreaker by the Dragon. And Steamboat picks him up, showing great strength by Ricky Steamboat. Another backbreaker. That's two.
There's a third.
Steamboat showing surprising strength here. And now, well, Liger up on his shoulder. What's he going to do with him here?
Power slam.
Here it comes. He hit it. And Pillman comes in to interrupt the count with a flat of the foot to the head of the Dragon.
Hey, it's a matter of survival. I don't blame Brian Pillman for coming in. Liger would have been pinned right there if not Pillman saving him as his partner. It's teamwork.
Told him offense. And again, Koloff going for the cover. And Liger kicks out. Powerful reverse chin lock. And again, if you notice the position, Koloff making Liger carry some of Koloff's weight.
That's the one thing about Jushin Liger. You can't tell if he's got a pained expression on his face. That is one ugly-looking mask, Jim Ross. He looks like the Predator.
Liger now, the referee there to check. See if he still is retaining his consciousness. Koloff, that huge arm really has got it wrapped in tightly, Jess.
Liger looking like he's going to try to bridge out of it. There, Koloff back to the chin lock, putting the weight on him.
Liger able to get up on his feet, reaching for the tag. There you see Flying Brian extending his arm. Pillman ready to make the tag. They're close. And did he make it?
No. No.
It was close. Referee was in perfect position to make the call.
Remember something, though, Jim Ross. Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Steamboat on top. Comes off the martial arts. Wraps him up. Both legs are hooked there. Irish whip far side. Oh, Liger put on the brakes. Big kick there. You can hear that one. And makes the tag to Flying Brian. Pillman in with those knife edge. You can hear those tremendous chops, the impact of those. Sends him for the ride. High elevation. And he drop kicks Koloff right off the apron. Tremendous chop by Pillman.
And the Dragon is in major trouble here.
Pillman going for it. Side headlock. So now the advantage. Pillman and Liger have the offensive advantage here. Very interesting contrast in styles in this matchup. Rolls him over, had the leg hook. Steamboat has had his share of problems in recent weeks with Cactus Jack. And of course we know the situation between Ravishing Rick Rude, U.S. title, and Nikita Koloff. But they have put those individual situations out of their mind for this high-stakes tag team matchup. Tag made. Liger off the top of the drop kick. Steamboat is in serious shape right here. Tremendous move by Liger. Couldn't hook the leg and only got one. Martial arts display here, Jess.
Steamboat firing back. There's the tag to Big Nikita.
Liger working on the legs. And now back upstairs. He doesn't want to get caught in that wrist lock. Or the chin lock again. Koloff getting some momentum. Flying shoulder lock. Liger in trouble there.
Koloff using the superior weight and strength advantage on Jushin Thunder Liger as Koloff a good 50 pounds heavier. Whoa! And there's Koloff posing and not paying attention, and Flying Brian comes in and nails him with a drop kick from behind.
Pillman now rams Koloff's head into the turnbuckle. Again, those chops to the chest. Irish whip going left to right. Another drop kick. He got the leg hooked, and Koloff is just so strong. And he caught him in midair there. An assist from Liger. Pillman on top. Referee putting Liger out.
They got Big Nikita reeling out there.
Koloff. Does he see Pillman? He will now. There's Pillman off the top. Flying Brian. Perhaps should have gone for the cover there. He's going for another high-risk move. Right on top. Taking a chance here. Drop
He
kick.
got it.
He got it. It should be all. A drop kick on Steamboat.
It could be over.
He's got-
Upset. Whoa!
2.5. A half a count away from elimination for Koloff and Steamboat here. Reversal of the Irish whip. Koloff rushes him, but Pillman stops it with a foot to the face.
Comes back with a knee to the face.
Maybe trying to go for a sleeper there, get on his back. Finally goes back for it. That's exactly what he was trying to do.
And he's hooked the sleeper. It's going to take a lot to put Koloff out, though.
So many great athletes over the years have used a sleeper. Crimping the carotid artery, restricting the flow of blood to the brain. Koloff needs to make the tag. Steamboat's there, but he couldn't do it.
Not that there's a lot of brain up there to begin with, Ross. Especially in Nikita Koloff. Oh.
Well, he was smart enough to think of that counter. He did use his head, indeed, in that maneuver.
The only thing I like about Koloff's is haircut.
Both men near their corner. Both men are addled, and both men need to make the tag, and they do. Steamboat and Liger. Oh, what a kick! He got it! This should be all! The leg is hooked, and Steamboat able to kick out. Man, he will not quit. Dragon step to the far side. He held on. Liger got nothing but air there. Good counter move. Both arms are hooked, and another near fall.
Jushin Liger with that quick backslide right there almost got Ricky the Dragon. Was there a tag? There was now.
Right there at the top. Flying Brian's got the tag, and he's got 2.5. Oh, this one is, I mean, close. Good counter move. Steamboat finally slowing Pillman down, but for how long?
And that's what Steamboat's trying to do, is get into a hold and slow the action down. Great bridge there by the Dragon. Excellent power move to get out of that pinning predicament.
And now Steamboat has the arms hooked. Can he hold Pillman down? A long two. Koloff wants the tag. Oh my, the Steamboat reached out for the tag. Pillman could perhaps feel it. He countered with a tremendous suplex. Both men are down. From my understanding, if both teams are counted out, they'd both be eliminated. And that would put Williams and Gordy right into the finals.
And that'd be one cheap way to get there.
Pillman again trying to put Steamboat away. Going up top. He'll take a chance here. Oh! Steamboat fell back against the ropes.
And Jushin Liger illegal in the ring. That brings Koloff into the ring. We're going to have all 4 of them in there now.
Steamboat rolled through. 1, 2. He's got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match advancing in this tournament, the team of Nikita Koloff and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Steamboat and Koloff will advance to the semifinals later tonight to meet Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Jess.
There you see Pillman coming across with the high cross body off the top. But you see the momentum carries him over. Steamboat gets it over, hooks the leg, gets Pillman down, manages to hold him. Referee in position. 1, 2, and 3. Big win for Steamboat and Koloff. They advance. They'll meet Dr. Death and Bam Bam Gordy in the semis.
Great tag team strategy. Koloff prevented Liger from being able to interrupt the count. So a real team victory, but you got to hand it to Liger and Pillman. Great offensive effort, and they came so close on a couple of occasions.
Hey, the match could have gone either way at any time in this bout. It was a pick'em. I think Steamboat and Koloff, to be blunt, they got lucky.
Just one team that didn't get lucky. Last Sunday in Atlanta Zombie, they lost the World Tag Team titles. Rick and Scott Steiner are here at the Great American Bash fans, as we mentioned yesterday on TBS. Well, I know that they're standing by right now with our colleague Eric Bischoff. Let's go back and hear some comments that we're all looking forward to.
They're really going to talk?
Thanks, JR, and I am with the former WCW World Tag Team Champions and the current IWGP Tag Team Champions, the Steiner brothers. And Scott, as competitive as you two have been all of your lives, I know it's going to be incredibly difficult for you to be here, not as participants, but as spectators.
That's right, it's difficult, Eric. If I could say one thing, there's been a lot of great athletes throughout the history of sports. One that comes to mind, Muhammad Ali, probably one of the greatest boxing champions of all times. But you see, he was never undefeated. Then he got 7 times Harley Race, probably one of the toughest competitors ever step in the ring. But he was never undefeated. You see, the thing that separated those guys between being good and being great, they looked at adversity, they looked at defeat, dead in the eye, and they came back better, scared. I've never been scared in my life of nothing. Gordy Williams, this ain't over, and I've never set out a tournament in my life, high school or college. Gordy Williams, it ain't over. All I can say is, kids, you better get parental consent to watch it, because it ain't gonna be pretty.
All right, a team I'm sure we're going to hear from a lot more in the future, the Steiner brothers. Now, let's get right back up to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following quarterfinal contest in the NWA Tag Team Tournament, it is set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing team number 1, both from Japan. Total combined weight of 480 pounds. Hiroshi Ase and Shinya Hashimoto.
That's Hase there coming to the ring, and Hashimoto, the replacement for the injured Akira Nogami. Hashimoto, about 260 pounds. Tremendous martial arts kicks, one of the hardest kickers in the sport. Really extensive martial arts background. And of course, Hase represented Japan in the '84 Olympics in Los Angeles in freestyle wrestling. So it should be a great challenge. Let's go back up to gear.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents. From Penn Street, USA in Atlanta, Georgia. Total combined weight, 485 pounds. The greatest rock and roll band of all time. The fabulous Freebirds.
The Freebirds advanced to the tournament by defeating the Silver Kings of Mexico in the first round back on June the 16th on TBS on the Clash of the Champions. And their flamboyant style, the masters of the DDT, I think, Jeff, they've got a great challenge ahead of them because they prepared for Nogami and Hase together. And Hashimoto has an entirely different style than did Nogami.
Well, I'll tell you, Hashimoto's put together. He's big, he's burly. And, you know, that's a style you don't see often in the Japanese wrestler. Usually they're aerial, they fly around like Jushin Thunder Liger. But this guy weighs about 270 pounds, and he is very, very solid, Jim Ross.
I hope we can get a shot of Hashimoto's footwear because they are very uncharacteristic of what we're used to seeing here in the United States. It will be Hiroshi Hase, starting out with Freebird Michael P.S. Hayes here. And it's good to see referee Nick Patrick back in action. Nick Patrick been out several months with recovering from a injury sustained in an automobile accident. It's good to see Nick back in action. He's an outstanding official.
You see Michael P.S. Hayes doing the moonwalk there, and you see Hase looking at him like, what in the heck is that?
Hase, a tremendous athlete, a college professor before he got into professional wrestling. Very intelligent, very articulate young man.
I bet he even speaks Japanese.
Fluently, as a matter of fact. Side headlock by Hiroshi Hase on Freebird Michael Hayes.
And that's not an easy language to learn, Ross.
Side headlock takeover. Hayes counters it into the head scissor. Hase is the only wrestler in the history of Japanese wrestling to win a world title in his first match.
Michael Hayes trying to keep him pinned in this leg scissors. You can see him using the hands trying to keep Hase's head down in there and not let him flip out. Couldn't do it.
Great move. Good counter move by Hase. Hase has been the IWGP Tag Champions, the championship the Steiners now hold. On 3 occasions, the Birds going for a single leg there, and he trying to get it. And Hayes, nice counter by Michael Hayes. Front face lock into a lateral press into the armbar. Hayes and Jimmy Jam, who just got the tag. Former world champions and U.S. tag champions.
And Jimmy Jam better be careful. He gets back in that Japanese corner over there. They'll cut off the ring on him.
Hashimoto has those dangerous feet. Tremendous training since he was a youngster. Since the age of 7, has been in martial arts training.
And you can tell he likes his rice.
Nice quick move there by Jimmy Jam going behind a drop toe hold. Good move there by Hashimoto, and Garvin very quickly back up vertical.
You know they do eat fish heads and rice over there, Jim Ross.
I've heard that. We'll be there in August for the NWA Singles Tag Team Tournament.
Well, when we get there, I want to see you with a fish head. I can't wait to see you pluck one of them eyeballs out and flip it down the old gizzard.
Side headlock takeover by Hashimoto. Big man, again at 265, 270. And Nogami was in the 225, 230 pound range. So completely different strategy here for the Birds, but they're veterans. They should be able to adapt. Takedown by Hashimoto.
And I think Hashimoto had a little bit of hair right there, but he hit it well from the referee. Referee didn't see a thing. He can't call what he don't see.
Hase, the leader of this duo from Japan, originally the number 2 seed in this tournament. Wrist lock applied. Garvin, back heel, good move, back heel trip by Garvin.
Hey, you can take all the seeds, I think, and throw them out the window at this point. Seeding doesn't matter when you get to the quarters.
Hard chops by Hasse, front face lock. Ties up Garvin, keeps Garvin in the corner and makes the tag to the big man. Tremendous kick, and they will take their toll. Down goes Garvin. He has to avoid getting himself into a position to allow those kicks to occur.
But how does he avoid it when he's stunned? He's wide open, and I'll tell you, Jimmy Jam taking some heavies from Hashimoto.
Wow, what a slam. Lateral press, and Hashimoto didn't hook the leg. Perhaps that was the difference. But be that as it may, Garvin able to kick out and quickly makes a tag. Now, the bigger of the Freebirds, Michael P.S. Hayes in. And those are just some American right hands coming back to work on the tricep.
And those are legal blows right there. That's the forearm. He's hitting with the forearm to the back of the tricep, steps over with that arm bar and cinches it in, puts the pressure on. You can see the pain on Hashimoto.
The Freebirds have one move that has an international interpretation. Fingers extended right into the neck. That's a DDT. They can hit it from any position. He caught him in the throat there, I think, with that karate thrust. Hear the impact of that chop.
You know, one thing about the Japanese team, they can claim ignorance from the referee. They can pretend they don't understand.
Well, they had their interpreter here. They've thoroughly gone over the rules with every team prior to coming out here.
Oh, believe me, they do understand, but you can bet they'll try to make it seem like they don't to try to get away with a few extra things.
Hasse scooping up Hayes. Getting some momentum there. Nice 360 somersault right on Hayes. And that wasn't enough as Hayes able to kick out. Freebirds really feel like they have something to prove here. They were unseeded going into the tournament. At the time they were seeded, they were the U.S. Tag Champions. Dick Slater and the Barbarian now hold those titles. Gutbuster there by Hasse. What did he say, Jess?
I don't know. I don't speak Japanese, Ross. What did he say? I think he said, I got him beat. Count him out.
Fist right to the abdomen. And Hayes comes back with a knife edge.
And Hayes in there fighting just for survival. He better not exchange with this guy. The guy's got the advantage on him. Michael P.S. Hayes on Dizzy Street right now, not Bad Street.
The impact of those kicks, rather scary. Hayes right there again, right there. I tell you, talk about breaking ribs, taking your breath away. Tremendous roundhouse martial arts kicks, as quite frankly, as tough as any I've seen. Spinning kick from the big man. Got great agility. He's going for the cover here, and Garvin had to come over, kicked him in the head to interrupt the count. I think Hayes perhaps would have been pinned right there, Jess.
I think he might have been too. Jimmy Jam Garvin thinking, though, hey, if you can get away with it and save your partner, that's what it's all about. It's tag team wrestling.
Hashimoto now showing his strength. Great suplex into the bridge. That's one of Hasse's favorite moves. Hayes in a lot of trouble. He's taking a lot of punishment from both men, especially the kicks of Hashimoto. And now Hashimoto from behind with that reverse chin lock. And he's got about 270, as Jesse the Body Ventura documented, that Hayes will have to carry. Garvin encouraging his partner.
Well, it's definite the Freebirds got the home field advantage if you want to look at it that way. I mean, they're from Atlanta, GA, Bad Street, USA, and here we are in Albany, GA, a few miles down the road.
Home of the Albany Polecats.
Polecats. You're a polecat, Ross.
Thank you.
I bet you played for him, didn't you?
Hayes' knee, or his hand rammed into the knee of Hasse.
What is a polecat, Ross?
I think it's a skunk.
Ha! Then I know you're a polecat.
Double team offense by the Japanese here. And the referee doing his duties, putting Garvin out of the ring, but he's got to get one of the Japanese contingent out of the ring as well. They may be pleading ignorance right here. They're thrown together. That's one way to get them out. Hasse with a knee to the solar plexus of Michael Hayes. Well, they're not listening to the referee's instructions. They're in danger of getting disqualified here. Hayes got the lefts in. A pair of them from Bad Street. Michael Hayes with those lefts got him in and tags in Jimmy Jam.
And that was desperation by PS. If he wouldn't have, he'd have been beaten, I think. Here comes Jimmy Jam. Legal forearms off the ropes, drops both Japanese. Big body slam on Hashi. Hashimoto slams him. Great power by Jimmy Jam.
I'm not sure the legal man is.
I lost track. I don't know if the ref knows.
I know Garvin's the legal man, but I'm not sure the other two. The fans here wanting the DDT. This one's a street fight now. Oh, the referee telling Hashimoto to get out as he's putting Michael Hayes back outside. And there's a kick. He got him in the face with that kick. Caught him in a suplex.
Beautiful move. 1, 2. Big win for the Japanese team.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winning team advancing in this tournament, the Japanese contingent of Hiroshi Ase and Shinya Hashimoto.
It was Hase with a Northern Lights suplex. Tremendous move. And Hase and Hashimoto will advance. And they will meet the winner of our next matchup, Jess. The Freebirds came very close. They wanted to get the DDT in.
And it's not to the popularity of the fans, but watch this move by Hase. Over the top right there on Jimmy Jam. Hashimoto catches him with a kick, and look at the beautiful move. Suplex and bridge right here. Look at the bridge. Wham! Down goes Jimmy Jam. Excellent bridge maneuver. 1, 2, 3, and Hashimoto keeps Michael PSAs out of the action. Big win for the Japanese.
Fans, let's go up now to Tony Magnum with Cowboy Bill Watts.
Okay, Jim, thank you very much. Cowboy Bill Watts is with us. Also, Mr. Hiro Matsuda, New Japan Pro Wrestling. As we know, the hard-hitting action continues. The NWA Tag Team Tournament. But the NWA Singles Tournament will be held August 6th in Tokyo. And, Bill, I know you have some comments about that.
Right, this tournament, the WCW is very proud to be a participant with New Japan Pro Wrestling. It will be at the Sumo Palace in Tokyo. They announced it, and it's sold out immediately. It's already sold out. We'll be leaving to go over there to view the finals of this tournament. This is the original NWA World's Heavyweight title bout. I'm presenting it to Mr. Hiro Matsuda, who is a former World's Junior Heavyweight Champion, on behalf of WCW to take back to Tokyo. We took the name of the last NWA champion that wore this belt, Ric Flair, off the belt. The new winner following that tournament's name will go on this belt.
I accept. On behalf of Mr. Sakaguchi, I will take this back to Japan. Thank you very much.
I want to say one thing. When the winner is decided, the WCW World Champion Sting also holds a victory over the NWA champion Ric Flair. We hope to get the champion that they decide through this tournament to then sign a contract to wrestle the world's champion, Sting, for a consolidation match to have only one world's champion.
Okay, Bill, thank you very much. Let's go back for our next quarterfinal match in the NWA Tag Team Tournament.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following quarterfinal contest in the NWA Tag Team Tournament. It is set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing team number 1, representing the Dangerous Alliance, first accompanied by the First Lady of WCW, Medusa, from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, 251 pounds, United States Heavyweight Champion, Ravishing Rick Rude. And from Hollywood, California, 254 pounds, he is the WCW World Television Champion, Stunning Steve Austin.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to...
Cut the music.
Well, I guess we'll have to listen to this now.
Oh, this is the part I like best. He's talking right to you, Jim Ross. He's going to address this right to you.
What I'd like to have right now is for all you fat, out of shape, simple-minded sweat hogs, keep the noise down while I take my robe off and show you what a real sexy man is supposed to look like.
Hit the music.
Well, Ravishing Rick Rude and Nikita Koloff adorn the cover of the new WCW magazine, on sale nationwide this Tuesday, July 14th.
Now you gotta hand it to him, Ross. Look at the shape this guy's in.
He's a magnificent athlete. Perhaps will go down in history as the greatest U.S. champion of all time. But this is not a single competition event. It is tag team wrestling. And the team that's about to be introduced, I think, have got their tag team work together. Let's go back to Gary.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents, introducing first from Austin, Texas, weighing 261 pounds, the natural Dustin Rhodes. His tag team partner, Sweetwater, Texas, 279 pounds, Barry Windham.
Big Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes from deep in the heart of Texas. The challenge, two champions from the Dangerous Alliance, the U.S. champion and the television champion. The significance of that, they're individual champions. How well, Jess, will they be able to mesh together in this tag team environment?
Well, I think they're going to do very well, Jim Ross. They wouldn't have made it to the quarterfinals had they not had that ability. If they wouldn't have meshed well, they'd have been beaten in the first round, and I think they proved that. This is going to be a great, great matchup. The two Texicans against the two champions. And don't forget, Medusa's in the corner.
Barry Windham has developed a tremendous rivalry with Stunning Steve Austin over Austin's World Television Championship. So they know each other extremely well as they started out here.
I want you to keep watching the action now, Ross. Don't be watching Medusa. I know your wandering eye. You watch the wrestlers in the ring, I'll watch Medusa.
Collar and elbow tie up. It's Stunning Steve again, forcing Windham back in the corner. This team will advance to meet the team from Japan that we just saw defeat the Freebirds, Hase and Hashimoto. Collar and elbow type, and this time it's Windham with the advantage. Arm drag takedown. Great movement by the big man. 6'6", perhaps 6'7", about 275, 280.
You know, I know you hate to hear it, Ross, but I'm going to bring it up again. Why is Windham's right hand taped? It was hurt, what, 9 months ago?
Been quite some time, last October, I
Yeah,
think.
now you're not going to sell me on the fact that he still needs it taped. He tapes it up so he can throw fists, because anybody knows you can throw a bigger punch with a taped fist and have it hurt a lot more with it taped than you can without.
Austin with a kick to the midsection and a right hand to the face. Another one, putting Windham down. Vicious elbow, high impact moves by Stunning Steve Austin, showing that mean streak. A man considered the greatest TV champion ever in WCW, has both arms hooked. And a near fall. Windham almost could get out of that one. Good waistlock takedown. And Austin's got the tights there, trying to get a cheap one.
Hey, cheap, take it any way you can. A win's a win.
Shoulder block by Austin. Getting a lot of momentum here. Windham with a leapfrog and caught him with a fist.
The tape fist.
He caught him with a tape fist.
The tape
and he caught
fist.
him well.
Yeah, you can expect it. What do you expect? I'm telling you, the referee should have taken a scissors out and he should have cut that tape off Windham's hands. That's unfair advantage due to equipment.
Senior referee Ole Anderson is here. All the wrestlers were checked in the locker rooms. Apparently, in his judgment, not yours or mine, our opinion doesn't count.
Let me tell you something. You're telling me Ole Anderson wouldn't accept a bribe? Don't you tell me for a minute.
Of course he
can't
wouldn't.
be bought.
I don't think so. Well, that's your opinion, not mine. I can tell you that.
Well, you're darn right it's my opinion. I'll go on the record with it. There's no way Windham should have that hand taped in the ring.
Windham now, the side headlock, big takeover from the side headlock position. And Austin able to negotiate into a head scissor maneuver. Windham showing great agility here.
Austin lucky he's still awake. Look at that. Look at Stunning Steve saying, hey, that's a tape fist, don't hit me again.
Oh, that was an open hand slap
That's
that
where you
echoed
go.
throughout the arena. Oh, he got popped again by Dustin Rhodes. What a move by the natural. And Austin is being battered here in the early going. It has not been an auspicious start for the TV champion. Makes the tag. And now let's see what the United States champion, Ravishing Rick Rude can do with Barry Windham.
I love Ravishing Rick Rude. He reminds me of me.
I don't know. He's a pretty good-looking guy.
So am I. I've done 7 movies, Ross. How many you done?
Well, I can't think of any offhand. Collar and elbow tie up. And there's a tag to the natural. Dustin Rhodes in. One of the great young superstars in WCW. But Rhodes comes with a heavy artillery.
And notice all legal forearms. He's throwing forearms. That's totally legal. Nothing at all illegal. Ravishing Rick Rude, all he's got to do is make sure he breaks because he's in the corner.
Rude to the Irish whip. So it got caught. Big boot right to the face and a lariat. Going for another lariat. Rude going for the clothesline and a suplex. Tremendous suplex by Rhodes. Arm drag takeover into the arm bar. Dustin Rhodes controlling the U.S. champion at this point in time.
Well, I'll tell you, Dustin Rhodes is no longer a rookie in this league. He's a veteran now, and you can see it in the ring by the moves he puts together out there. He can compete with anybody. He's got the size, he's got the strength, and he's got youth on his side.
Rhodes, 6'5". His great years are ahead of him. This young man is about 21, 22 years of age. As Rude now has him trapped in the corner. Snap mare.
In fact, the only negative thing Dustin Rhodes has is that ugly fat old man of his.
Boy, you're really
I'm
belligerent today, aren't you?
I'm belligerent. This is a tag team championship. The body will be at his best. And look at Rude pulling back on the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Dustin up on one knee, trying to make it back up vertical. Elbow downstairs, but Rude, that washboard-like abdomen, it takes a heck of a blow to penetrate that.
If you're smart, you don't even go after that.
Got him upside down. Going for the tombstone.
I don't think he's gonna get it. Whoa, look at this reversal.
No, he got it. Tombstone pile driver. It should be all right here. And also came in. A kick right to the lower back. Stopped the count, but Rhodes had it look like his way there.
Let's give credit to Stunning Steve. Ravishing Rick Rude, the U.S. champion, would have been pinned right there. But Stunning Steve come to the rescue. And look at Dustin Rhodes. Oh, he had him measured, but Rude lifts up the knees and catches him.
Caught him in the gut with both knees. And now let's see if Rude can take advantage of that situation. Makes the tag. Look at the position of Dustin Rhodes, helpless in the corner of his adversaries here. Snap mare, takedown. And Austin buries a knee right again, focusing on the chest, trying to take the oxygen away from young Dustin Rhodes, kicking his guts out, cracking the foot right into the ribs.
And you notice those kicks are legal too. He's not kicking with the point of the boot, he's kicking with the instep and the arch of the foot. That's a legal kick.
I'm glad you're so rules conscious.
I'm always rules conscious. Never broke a rule in my life, Ross.
Oh, he caught him. Caught him in that clothesline. He may have him right here, fans. The lateral press, and Dustin Rhodes, those long legs, they weren't negated, they weren't hooked, able to kick out. That's where your strength is, in the lower body. Irish whip, and he caught the knee. He got the knee in, Jess.
Wow, and comes with a kick of his own now on Stunning Steve, the television champion.
And I'd like to point out that those are legal kicks, Jess.
Yes, they are. I won't deny it. Now they're going to the floor now. This is not legal out here. No, he's putting them back in. A gentleman thing to do by Dustin Rhodes. Never seen that out of too many Texicans.
Oh, Rhodes got him again in the abdominal stretch. Submission maneuver here. And Jess, they tell me this puts so much pain on multiple parts of your body.
And he's got the hands hooked around the neck there, stretching him out. Whoa. And the advantage for Dustin Rhodes in this abdominal stretch is his height. He is so tall at about 6'6", 6'7", he can really apply the pressure. But look at Stunning Steve. Excellent hip toss reversal to get out of that hold.
Dustin going right back for it. He's wrenching it in there. And you can see it at his leverage advantage, certainly an asset. Tag made. And big Barry Windham. Oh, what a sight that is out of the top. Oh,
It could be over.
He launched himself like a big rocket. And like Austin, you got to hand it to him, able to kick out.
I wouldn't even call it a strong kick out. He just managed to slip the shoulder out of there before the 3 count came down.
Tremendous elevation. Austin executing the back body drop. Clubbing blow to the back of the head. And he tags in. The United States heavyweight champion, ravishing Rick Rude. Rude now. Oh, man, right in the kidneys. Tremendous impact. Right in the lower back and in the kidney area.
Ramming those forearms in there.
Great suplex again on the lower back. Windham in deep trouble here. Rude's got him leg hooked, and he got 2 out of it. Great teamwork now by Rude and Austin. They make the tag. Full Nelson to retain Windham in the corner as Austin came in. Austin setting Windham up on the top turnbuckle. He knows exactly how proficient Windham is with a superplex. And Windham with a headbutt. Boy, he had to really be resourceful there. He used the headbutt.
Well, it saved him right there because had Stunning Steve did what he wanted off that rope, it could have been over.
Crossbody press. And he got an ear fall. And Medusa's gone ballistic for some reason. And Rude caught Windham by the hair. The referee did not see that.
And look at Medusa tying up the referee. And here goes Ravishing Rick Rude up to the top rope. High-risk maneuver, Jim Ross.
Rude with a drop kick. He caught Windham right in the solar plexus with it. 1, 2, and Windham able to get the right shoulder up.
Whoa, I can't believe that.
Medusa up on the apron to distract the referee. I think that was obvious. Rude trying to set Windham for the pile driver. And he's got it. Oh, Windham is out of it. He's got to go on guts and instinct now, and Dustin Rhodes makes the save.
He had to, because Ravishing Rick Rude, the U.S. champion, would have got the pin, and Dustin Rhodes illegally jumping in the ring, saving his partner. Got to give him credit, though. You do what it takes to win.
Rhodes running for the tag on the outside, reaching that big arm over. Windham needs to make the tag. Rude makes the tag to Austin, who came off the top rope with a high impact double axe handle and a cheap shot on Dustin Rhodes on the apron. Austin now with a front face lock. And has Windham up. Caught him in a vertical suplex.
Wow, what power. Windham weighs about 285.
He hooked the leg and got a near fall. Goes right back to the reverse chin lock. They're keeping Barry Windham in their half of the ring. Rude and Austin with great tag team strategy here. Their game plan is very, very sound. Your buddy Paulie Dangerously rather kind of conspicuous with his absence. It's a little bit more quieter around here. Anyway.
I know, and that bothers me. Why is he not here? Did you have something to do with it, Ross?
Not one thing.
Don't you lie to me now. I know you behind the scenes.
I think Rude likes Medusa with him, and you can take that wherever you want.
You know, well, if you look at the two, you know, I mean, I'd pick Medusa over Paul Lee, too.
I'm glad
Wouldn't
to hear
you?
that. Yeah, of course, yes. Windham back up. He's fighting back with all he's got, and now he may make the tag here. Austin's got to really, he does pull him back in the center of the ring as Rude comes back in from the tag. One thing about the two Texans, they have that height advantage, not only as far as leverage, but able to make the tag from almost the center of the darn ring.
Well, when you're 6'7" and you got the equal wingspan. But right now, Barry Windham, whoa, he blocked it.
Windham's going on a lot of instinct right now, but he ran Rude's head right into the top turnbuckle. Rude right back on the attack. Tremendous slam.
And look at the hip movement right there by Ravishing Rick. Nobody does it better, do they, Ross?
I don't know why he hesitated there. Is that really necessary in a match of this importance? He wrenches down in that front face lock.
It's called a psych out. He's psyching his opponent out. It's psychology in the ring.
Windham getting closer to his corner. And he's able to elevate Ravishing Rick Rude. And Rude very quickly makes a tag to Stunning Steve Austin. And Dustin Rhodes, they came within inches of making another tag, but it just didn't happen.
The problem with Dustin Rhodes is he's on the wrong side of the turnbuckle. Had he been on this side, Jim Ross, he'd have been able to make that tag. Now he's coming over too little too late.
Wyndham thrown outside, and Dustin quickly there to make sure that his partner's not attacked on the outside, but Austin nails him anyway.
You know, it's the little things like that. You know, Dustin Rhodes needs to be on that side of the turnbuckle that Barry Windham's on.
Wyndham with another offensive maneuver. Big time right hand. And Austin caught him. One offensive move too many, perhaps. Should have maybe made the tag. And
Absolutely.
Austin's got his feet in the ropes trying to get another cheap one here.
I agree with you, Ross. Wyndham made a major mistake there. Instead of throwing the punches, he should have tagged his partner, Dustin Rhodes. But then again, you know, at this point of the match, he's lucky to know what arena he's in with the beating he's taken out there. It's easier said than done.
Really a gut check for Barry Windham here, as Austin and Rude have really kicked in their game plan, and it has really operated superbly. We've talked about many times the classic tag team strategy, keeping a fresh man in the ring as often as possible and keeping your opponent in your half of the ring. And that is exactly what the U.S. and the television champion have been doing.
Barry Windham been in that ring far, far too long. His main objective right now should be to get to his partner, but he may be incapable of doing it.
This is the second match in a row against the Dangerous Alliance in this tournament for Rhodes and Windham. And Austin trying to position himself, and has done so. Man, he's got a big leverage advantage there. And Dustin's trying to get the referee to look.
And Dustin made a mistake and allowed, by coming into the ring, he allowed Rude and Austin to exchange, and they never made a tag. Let's see how the ref handles this. There was no tag made.
Well, if he didn't see it, he should not allow it. That's my editorial opinion.
I agree. See, and he's changing, but see, the damage is done. Rude's come in, applied some pressure. Referee's going to make him break it, but they still got an exchange will happen.
Well, he can darn sure use the count. And that's what he finally does. But as you mentioned, Jess, there's a tag. Now, that's a legal one. But look at Rude pull Windham back into the corner. He makes sure that when he makes a tag, that Wyndham's in that corner.
Smart wrestling.
Irish whip. Big back body drop there. Just vicious right hands by Stunning Steve Austin. And again, the referee using that count. If he reaches 5 in an illegal maneuver, they'll be disqualified. Trying to go. Hey, he's got the inside cradle.
And that's strictly instinct right now.
They both hit those clotheslines. They both hit those clotheslines.
Barry Windham is wrestling totally on instinct right now. He has no idea where he's at. Look, he's going to the corner trying to tag. He doesn't know where his partner is.
Suplex. Nicely done by Austin. Again, they make the tag. Here comes Ravishing Rick Rude, and again, look at the position they are keeping Barry Windham in. On the defensive and in their corner. Rude from Robbinsdale, Minnesota. For those knees right to the abdomen, legal forearms to the head. And this time Windham makes the counter move. Inverted atomic drop, compressing the vertebra. Went for the clothesline. Oh, their heads cracked. You can hear that all the way here where we're sitting. Here at ringside.
Both guys down, but Rude's got to have the advantage at this point. Barry Windham has been in that ring for probably 7 or 8 minutes now, absorbing unbelievable punishment. He's trying, now he sees his corner. Can he make it?
There's a tag, and there's a tag on both sides. Dustin Rhodes has been waiting for the tag. Sends it for the ride to the far side. Boom, the Bionic elbow. He caught him. To the lariat. Takes him out of his shoes. And a drop kick. Rude up and over. whips reversed. Dustin on the elbow. Reverse elbow, cut him in the face. He could have him here. And Rude interrupts the count. Wyndham back in with a big overhand right.
Who's the legal man? We know Dustin Rhodes legal and Stunning Steve. Are they the legal men?
You're right. Austin and Rhodes. Austin trying to get him up. There you see Dustin Rhodes on the top rope. He caught him with that lariat right off the top. And he's got 3.
He wins it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, advancing in this tournament, the team of the Metro, Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham.
Wyndham and Rhodes will advance to meet Hashimoto and Hase. A little bit later in the semifinals here tonight at the Bash. And I think Austin was as confused as we were, Jess. He thought that Wyndham was a legal man. It was Dustin Rhodes. And when we take another look at it, you're going to see what a tremendous move. Dustin took a big chance coming off the top.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, there's the clothesline right there. Boom. Dustin Rhodes lands with the heavy artillery clothesline. Here he is coming off the top. Catches Stunning Steve with a lariat off the top rope. Hooks the leg. And Stunning Steve was stunned on that one. The 1-2-3 count and a big win for the Texicans.
Fans, let's go back to Eric Bischoff with a man that says he's the uncrowned world's champion.
Thanks, JR, and I am back in the locker room area of the challenger to Sting's WCW World's Heavyweight title. A man that weighs in at nearly 450 pounds and indeed does refer to himself as the uncrowned World's Heavyweight Champion. Of course, we're talking about Big Van Vader and his manager, former 7-time World's Heavyweight Champion, Harley Race. And Harley Race, the collision won't be long now.
But to say this man is prepared would be a very gross misstatement. This man is ready. In a very short time, there's going to be a lot of disappointed little stingers running around out there. This man is ready.
Stinger! In just a very short time, Vader is going to take away your most prized possession. For I fear no man, and I feel no pain.
The uncrowned champion is going to be crowned very, very shortly. This man.
That match coming up just a little later. Right now, let's get down to Jesse the Body Ventura and Jim Ross.
All right, Eric, thanks very much. And Vader looks to be very, very confident. And the thing about it, Jess, is that Race has been a 7 times NWA World's Champion. He should really be able to put together a great game plan.
Absolutely. Race has Vader prepared. Vader 450 pounds. And as we said at the outset of the program, Jim Ross, this is one of the few times you're going to see actually the champion coming in as an underdog, I believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, our 2 semifinal tag team matches coming up in just a moment. We want to remind everyone that our next pay-per-view spectacular will be on Sunday, October the 25th, the annual Halloween Havoc event. And we'll be telling you much more about that. Remember the date, Sunday, October 25th, exclusively on pay-per-view. I'm looking forward to that one, Buddy.
Yeah, you know, what kind of costume are you going to wear, Ross?
Something very special, maybe in your honor. Perhaps,
yeah,
Your Honor.
Right.
The 2 semifinal matchups have been decided. In just a moment, we'll see the first one. Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy to meet Koloff and Steamboat. As a matter of fact, to understand that we're ready to go. Our first semifinal match is on deck. Let's go back up to Gary Capetta.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is the semi-final contest in the NWA Tag Team Tournament. Introducing team number 1, first from Lithuania, now residing in the United States of America, weighing 120 kilos, Nikita Koloff. His tag team partner, Charlotte, North Carolina, 230 pounds, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
They've got a great challenge ahead of them, Jess, not only in the form of Williams and Gordy, but because they've already wrestled a very long, competitive match already here tonight.
Absolutely. Williams and Gordy are going to have a distinct advantage, but I'll tell you what, when it comes to guts, both of these 2 guys have got it.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents, now residing in Nagoya, Japan, at a total combined weight of 545 pounds, the newly crowned WCW World Tag Team Champions, Dr. Death Steve Williams, and Curry Bam Bam Gordy.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, they're wearing the new WCW World Tag Team Championship belts. The belts aren't new, but the champions are. They've been the champions a total of 7 days now. Last Sunday night in Atlanta's Omni, Williams and Gordy defeated the Steiner brothers. Many of you that watched our broadcast this weekend saw exactly how that occurred. But they can make history right here in 7 days, winning the world title and then the NWA tag title. But first, they've got to get through this semifinal matchup.
You know what's unique about it? Not only did they win the titles from the Steiner brothers, they eliminated the Steiner brothers from this very tournament. Twice they've beaten them.
Referee Mike Atkins assigned this contest. Williams and Gordy. Be interesting to see how they will execute their game plan here. They want to keep it very, very basic, and I think that they, from my conversation with them, would like to keep Ricky Steamboat in for as long as possible. We'll remind the fans that on the Wrestling Hotline, Gordon Solie and Lance Russell are doing the play-by-play now, and later tonight, you'll be able to talk to the new tag team champions, and also we'll be talking to the World Heavyweight Champion.
Who may also be new after this evening's over.
Certainly a possibility as Bam Bam Terry Gordy starts out with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Steamboat weighed in at 230, and
I'll tell you, yep, Steamboat's going to have a tough time matching strength against these two champions.
Williams and Gordy thought if they could keep Steamboat in extended periods of time, they could wear him down because of his size. A tremendous shoulder block by Gordy. Side headlock there, and a side headlock takeover. Really has it wrenched in, and Steamboat rolls Gordy over on his shoulders using the cradle there.
And this is an advantage here for the champions, Gordy and Williams, because if they can keep Steamboat down on the mat, Steamboat's got to use the aerial tactics. And you know what else is going to be tough for Koloff and Steamboat in this matchup? They just got through with the two light heavyweights who fly all over the ring, do all the aerial stuff. Now they're going to get two guys that are going to take them down to the mat. Total different style.
Dr. Death Steve Williams running in place there. He is ready to go. You know, we've talked so much about the amateur backgrounds of men like Dr. Death Steve Williams and Ron Simmons, who is here tonight, by the way, and we'll be hearing from him a little bit later. But Gordy broke into pro wrestling at age 16, held his first major championship at age 18, and Williams has been a main event star since the day he debuted in pro.
You know, I got no respect for amateurs. You know why, Ross?
Why's that?
Why are they so stupid they do it for nothing?
Hip block takeover by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Arm drag takedown. And maybe that's the way you combat Williams and Gordy, is take them off their feet. And here comes Dr. Death Steve Williams. And he's taken down quickly by Steamboat from the arm drag. Williams has had great success in individual competition. Former UWF heavyweight champion of the world, and that belt retired with Dr. Death, but he's gained his greatest fame internationally in tag team competition. All Asia champions with Gordy, and now the most coveted prize in the sport, the WCW World title. Good drop toe by Dr. Death, side headlock, and Steamboat's got to figure a counter. He can't allow himself to get into a position to carry Doc's weight for extended lengths of time. Good move.
Excellent move. Back into the hammerlock. Now he's going to drop the knee into the arm on Dr. Death. One thing about Steamboat, he can wrestle, and he can wrestle with these two any day of the week.
He was a great amateur as well. High school state champion. Working on the arm of Dr. Death Steve Williams, big former number 76 for the Oklahoma Sooners. Powerful offensive right guard. Doc trying to take the leg from the Dragon. And they're back in the ropes, and the referee Mike Atkins calling for the break. They're right above us here.
Let's see if we get a clean one or not.
Referee going between. Good officiating there. And a clean break.
Excellent officiating. You see how he got himself in between the two combatants.
Oh, good. Steamboat hit the fireman carry.
Yep. Steamboat caught Dr. Death in a fireman's carry.
Well, it's obvious that Steamboat is much, much quicker than anyone else in this contest. And he's using some leverage and great scientific skills right now to combat the awesome strength of Dr. Death Steve Williams, who many people say is one of the top 2 or 3 strongest men in the entire sport. Doc powering, using that body weight, that mass to Put Steamboat back in the corner. Here comes Gordy. And Steamboat trying to fight now. He's got to fight out of the corner. He's in a dangerous place, and he does so.
Steamboat should look to make a tag here. You notice that Dr. Death and Terry Gordy have each tagged in and out a couple of times. Steamboat's been going since the get-go. Not smart because they've already wrestled. Now he finally makes the tag.
I guess he heard you because he tags in Nikita Koloff, the master of the sickle.
And the power man of this combination. Here's a guy who can muscle it with Gordy and Williams.
Drop Toho by Koloff, taking down Dr. Death. Floats up into the arm bar. Two big, strong men right there, ladies and gentlemen, here in WCW. So we are in our first semifinal event. Dustin Rhodes, Barry Windham to meet Hase and Hashimoto. Still to come, plus the big one. The one that we came to see for the world's heavyweight title. Big Van Vader challenging the Stinger.
And again, the referee wedging himself in between. He's got to be careful or he'll take one in there.
Dr. Death trying to get behind Koloff, and Koloff trying to fight away from that advantage. Has the arm hooked. Takes Doc down. Doc rolls right through with the offensive advantage now. Williams on top. I don't know how extensive Koloff's background is growing up in Lithuania.
Hey, you can bet. He's a Russian. He knows how to wrestle. Over there, their amateurs have been pros for years.
I understand that, but I didn't know how extensive his back was. He broke in the pros at a very young age as well. Big Terry Bam Bam Gordy back in.
Over there, he probably had to wrestle for his food.
Gordy graduated valedictorian from the School of Hard Knocks. Amazing to think the guy earned his first paycheck in pro wrestling at age 16. Just got his driver's license. Big shoulder block, and oh, Gordy didn't go down. And Koloff goes to the air and takes Gordy off his feet and has that sickle ready for action. There's the game face. Intensity right there. You guys go the same barber, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we do. So do you and Bischoff. Cy Sperling, right?
No.
Don't deny it now,
Doc
Ross.
off a single leg and got it up and turned it into a takedown. Koloff landed right on his head. And now that he landed on his head and shoulder, and that perhaps separated his shoulder there. As Doc goes to work on the neck now, the reverse chin lock. He's going to test out and see just exactly if he did hurt it. Body scissors.
Here again is a wear down hold right here. Smart move by Doc and Gordy. Wear them out. They've already wrestled once. Their stamina is going to be tested real strongly here. And when I speak of that, I'm speaking, of course, of Koloff and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who have not made quick tags in this bout. Both Steamboat's only been in the ring one time. Koloff now in for only one time, where Williams and Gordy have tagged in numerous times. Got to be to their advantage.
Doc trying to hold on to the head as Koloff trying to force his way out of this predicament. And he does so. And now he's got the face lock on Doc, and Doc rolling off his back onto his stomach here. Koloff with the pressure.
And that's one thing in wrestling. You never want to get caught on your back because you can get counted out anytime. They can't count you if you're on your stomach.
Good counter move. Good escape by Dr. Death Steve Williams. Williams hooked the leg there. Koloff holding on, though, with that great upper body strength of his. And Williams normally in this position just overpowers his opponent, but he's not doing it here with Koloff.
Nope, Koloff, the power man of the team. And there, Williams picking Koloff up.
Makes a tag and holding now Nikita in his corner. Real good tag team strategy, but Koloff gets out of there. Koloff, as I mentioned earlier, a two-time former NWA tag champion. Side headlock, tag made. Here comes the Dragon. Pace will change here. Steamboat likes to control the pace, as we mentioned, but normally on a very rapid one. And side headlock applied. Great quickness by Steamboat, caught him with the martial arts and takes Gordy back down to the arm drag. Gordy right back up very quickly, grabbing Steamboat perhaps by the hair, forcing him into the corner, makes a tag.
And now they're going to rough him up. Enough of the wrestling. Now I think we're going to get the rough stuff.
Caught him with a clothesline. That huge forearm. He's got him rolled up. His shoulders up off the canvas. Steamboat like a pretzel. He just came right out of that. Doc back in a pinning predicament here. Look at the size advantage of Williams over Steamboat. Steamboat's got to be quick here. Great counter move by the Dragon. Great scientific wrestling move by Steamboat. I know the Steiner brothers would have given anything to be in this tournament, and I know they're going to give anything to when they wrestle the Williams and Gordy for a rematch. That should be a real war.
You know, with all the time off they're getting, they might go back to graduate school. What do you think? The Steiner brothers after their master's degree? Yeah, right.
Irish whip far side. Doc couldn't land the clothesline. And Steamboat up, trying to get the crucifix. Williams very, very strong. Backs into the corner with him. Doc just carried him back to the corner. Steamboat tried to get Williams off his feet, but couldn't.
Great power move there by Dr. Death Steve Williams, countering Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Williams with those knife edge. Steamboat comes back with some chops of his own. And Doc with a headbutt on the Dragon. Dr. Death, snap mare and tags in his partner. Terry Bam Bam Gordy. Tremendous slam. Really tremendous amount of velocity. And Steamboat really needs to make the tag now, Jess, I would think. Another slam coming up.
And the power moves are coming out now by Dr. Death Steve Williams and the man in the ring, Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Knee left to the face. Irish whip, looking for the elbow. Doesn't get it. Steamboat with the martial arts. Whips him in. Gordy blocked it, but caught him. Gordy blocked, Steamboat blocked, but Gordy caught him with that big clothesline. And I hear Gordy yelling instruction to Dr. Death, give him the knee, and he did. Gave it to Steamboat more specifically. Oh, they ran through the Dragon.
Wow.
Double shoulder blocks there.
You know, the key to this match...
Going for the cover, Jess. He may have him right here.
The key to this match, Ross, is Williams and Gordy are controlling the tempo all the way. It's their style of match, very methodical, very powerful. And that's, you know, Steamboat is not going to have success in that style of matchup.
Another quick tag. Look at Williams blocked Steamboat for making a tag to Koloff. Jess, when a wrestler is on the outside, like as Koloff is and has been for so long, as Gordy goes for another lateral press, what effect does it? Can you get stiff? Can you get, I mean, you lose something just by standing there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you'll see when the guy's on the apron, he'll start doing some Hindu squats. He'll do some deep knee bends over there. Absolutely, he gets tightened up because here's the stretch for the tag. Steamboat trying to get there, but I don't think he's going to power Bam Bam, and Bam Bam nails Koloff into the ring, and now he's in trouble. He needs to get out of there because Gordy and Williams are going to double suplex the Dragon.
Double suplex the Dragon is right. Williams has got the leg hook. And
good call by the referee. He did not see the tag. Excellent call by the referee. Very good.
Well, Doc's trying to convince him they made the tag, but it didn't happen.
It doesn't matter. If the ref didn't see it, it ain't a tag.
You're right. Excellent officiating by Mike Atkins. Or the chop from Steamboat as he's trying to fight back. Steamboat with every ounce of strength he's got left. And again, Gordy makes the tag. And again, Gordy blocks Steamboat's path to his own corner as Williams comes in. I'm sure with more high-impact offense for the Dragon. Whip for a clothesline. Oh, whip for the crossbody, and Doc caught him. And that backbreaker, I think, perhaps caught Steamboat more in the ribs than in the spine, Jess. Williams going for the cover.
And let me tell you what, if he cracks one of Steamboat's ribs with that move, he ain't gonna breathe right the rest of the night. He's gonna be hurting on every breath that he takes in there.
Doc, the legs grapevine. You see the neutralizing Steamboat's legs. Got the arm behind, working on the shoulder. Steamboat is literally tied into a knot right here. Steamboat's got to get back on. He's got to make a tag. I mean, that's that simple. He's got to make the tag.
And Williams not going to let him. Look at that. Drags him back in the corner. Now they're going to punish him. We could get a submission here. Not that the Dragon would give up easily, but if those ribs are injured that bad.
Tremendous elbow. Whips him in. And modified DDT.
And look at Steamboat grabbing the ribs. He's hurt. The ribs are hurt. That move hurt Steamboat as bad as it did Gordy. There's a tag.
Koloff has a tag. He should be well rested. Those shoulder blocks. A trifecta on Gordy, puts him down 3 times, goes for the 4th one, and Gordy, the veteran, steps out of the way and drives Koloff's face into the canvas. A lateral press. He hooks the leg, and he got 2. And quickly tags in Dr. Death. Now, can Dr. Death take advantage of the situation?
You can bet Dr. Death can take advantage of the situation. Check out the Dragon. He's not even standing in the corner. I think Koloff may have to go the rest of the way by himself. Steamboat, you can see him clutching at the ribs. They're hurt. Williams caught him in that backbreaker. Steamboat's in trouble, and so is Koloff in the middle of the ring.
Dr. Death drops Koloff across the top in a stun gun-like maneuver, drives him into the steel cable. Rubber around the steel cable. Not a very pleasant situation here.
How about it, Koloff? What do you say? How about it?
Well, that's a tough move right there, Jess.
Koloff's gonna have a hard time getting out of this one. Head scissors, and he's got the leg, the left ankle hooked behind him. Nowhere for Koloff to go. Extreme pressure on both the head and the lower back as well as the knee. Look at Koloff's arms flailing around in there. I bet he wishes he was back in Lithuania now.
Well, with no hair and a lot of perspiration, he may be able to slide out of there. And the position he's in right now, Williams relinquishes it voluntarily to inflict more punishment, but he got kicked right in the face. Doc had something else, shoulder block by Williams, and now Koloff looks to make the tag. Williams trying to prevent that. Doc makes the tag, and Gordy's in to stomp Koloff in the back of the head.
And I'll tell you, big trouble here for the Koloff Steamboat team, because I don't think Steamboat's in great condition to come back in the ring yet. And Koloff's already looking to tag him back.
Irish whip, reverse, oh, a lot of impact. He went for the knee, nothing there but turnbuckle. And now Gordy, who likes to use a move called the Oriental Twist. Some call it the STF. A step over with a front face lock. This is a submission maneuver.
The question is, can he possibly get Nikita to submit? I personally think Koloff would allow his leg to break before he'd submit.
This is a move that the legendary Lou Thez taught Masachono, one of the great athletes that'll be in the upcoming NWA tag or heavyweight tournament coming up next month. It's a painful move. Koloff's knee has been at a very dangerous situation right at the insertion point. And now Williams back in, dropping the big elbow right in the back of the head. Koloff fights back. Koloff comes back with some devastating rights, and Doc knee him right in the face. Williams not going for the neck, he's going right for the face. Picks up that one leg. And now he's going to try to turn him into the Boston Crab.
He's trying to turn him. Koloff's fighting it. He got it over. Now if he sits down with it, Nikita's in big trouble.
How much strength can Koloff muster, or can he get to the ropes? He doesn't have a lot of options. He's got to use power, or he's got to get to the ropes.
Williams not able to totally turn him on his back. You can see Koloff still on his side, not quite twisted over fully to take all the brunt of the pressure.
That's an excellent point. Koloff staying on that one shoulder. So Williams, the full effectiveness of the Boston Crab, not there. But if Koloff turns over, gets turned on his stomach, you hear the crowd here chanting, trying to encourage Koloff to reach down here in the 4th quarter with all he's got. The winning team here advances to the finals and will become one step closer as Williams tags in Gordy.
20 minutes gone by in this match. 10 minutes remain the time limit.
20 minutes have elapsed. 10 minutes remain the time limit as Gordy goes again for his favorite maneuver. He calls it the Oriental Twist. This time just working on the leg, as if that wasn't enough. One thing about Koloff, his leg is damaged. He's not going to be able to execute his favorite maneuver, the sickle, because you got to be vertical to nail it.
And look at, he's got the arm almost twisted in a hammerlock. Koloff pulled that out of there.
Koloff got the elbows in right above the eye. Koloff back up now for the first time in quite some time. Gordy tried to make the tag, and Williams did. Their tag ratio has got to be 3 or 4 to 1 to their opponents.
I'd say about 8 or 9 to 1. I think right now Steamboat and Koloff have only made the ring twice apiece.
Williams with cheap shot on the Dragon, knocked him down again. Sends him, and there's a power slam. Koloff kicks out, and that may have taken every bit of strength that he's got to kick out from that one. Doc getting him up on his shoulders. Of course, going for the corner. Oh my! A great counter move by Koloff, but he paid for it. His face and the back of Williams' head smacked together, and now both these big men are down, and the referee's got a 10 count. He reaches 10, both teams are out of it.
Oh, he's not going to get the 10. Koloff's up on his knees right now, needs to tag Steamboat. Here comes Doc, trying to hold that ankle. There's the tag.
Steamboat back in, trying to get some added momentum from the ropes. For those martial arts blows, puts Gordy down. Now Doc's a little spaghetti leg. Williams and Gordy ran together. Steamboat's got Williams up. There's a suplex. Steamboat now. Martial arts blow right to the head. Gordy back in there. And here comes Koloff back in.
All 4 in now. Here goes Steamboat up to the top.
Steamboat has got Williams in trouble. Koloff nails Gordy to the outside. And now Steamboat up on top. Gordy on the apron, pushes him off. Doc catches him. Williams catches Steamboat and rams him right into the turnbuckle. Modified stampede. He's got the legs covered, and he's got it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, advancing in the tournament, the WCW World Tag Team Champions, Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Steve Dr. Death Williams.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Williams and Gordy had a great game plan, but Steamboat came so close to that last effort.
There you see Gordy interfering with Steamboat. Steamboat trying to go up to the top, but Gordy won't let him come off. Holds him right there. He falls into the arms of Dr. Death, Steve Williams. Williams powers him up. Look at the strength. Driving the injured ribs, wham, that were hurt earlier in the bout, into the turnbuckle. Flips him over with almost a stampede-type move. Cradles him up. 1, 2, 3, and Williams and Gordy advance to the finals.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, many thought that after last Sunday in the Omni, when Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy won the WCW World titles, that they would be the odds-on favorite to win here tonight during the NWA Tag Team Tournament. And they have taken a giant step toward that goal, and they will meet the winner of our next semifinal matchup.
Well, they took a huge step toward the goal, but they did have an advantage. See, they got through their quarterfinal because of what happened earlier in the tournament. They defeated the Steiner, so it was their first time wrestling. Koloff and Steamboat second time. That's a huge advantage.
What do you think about the next one, Jess? We've got the team from Texas, Wyndham and Rhodes, against the team from Japan of Hossein Hashimoto.
Well, we definitely know who the home team will be, the Texicans, without any doubt about it.
And they had a very strenuous, very challenging matchup earlier with Austin and Rude.
Absolutely. You know, but the height and weight advantage is going to go to Rhodes and Wyndham. I think a little bit of the technique advantage is going to go to the Japanese team.
It'll be interesting to see how they offset the kicks of Hashimoto. Ladies and gentlemen, this should be an outstanding contest. Remember, the winner of this match advances to the finals to meet Williams and Gordy. Let's go back up to Gary Capetta.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a semifinal contest in the NWA World Tag Team Tournament. It is set for one fall with a 30-minute time limit. Introducing team number 1. Both from Japan, at a total combined weight of 480 pounds, Hiroshi Ase and Shinya Hashimoto.
Originally the number 2 seed, Hase on your left, and Akira Nogami, as you heard earlier, Nogami suffered an eye injury, was replaced here by the powerful kicking Hashimoto. Boy, this Hase is a great athlete. He was a 1983 and 84 Japanese national freestyle wrestling champion, was that young man. Very intelligent, very well versed. This should be a tremendous contest. And let's go back up to Gary for the introduction of 2 big Texans.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents. First, from Austin, Texas, he weighs 261 pounds, the natural Dustin Rhodes. And from Sweetwater, Texas, 279 pounds, Barry Windham.
You know, just looking at this thing objectively, Windham and Rhodes really had a tough matchup earlier with the U.S. champion and the television champion, Rude and Austin, respectively. They haven't had, 20-30 minutes to basically regroup. The team of Hashimoto and Hase have had one more match opportunity to rest. I think that could be a factor.
It certainly could be.
It's going to be Dustin Rhodes and Hiroshi Hase starting it out. Both men somewhat cautious here in the early going. Again, the winner of this matchup will move to the finals to meet Williams and Gordy right here on the Great American Bash pay-per-view. So happy you're with us here, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly appreciate you allowing us to come into your homes once again here on pay-per-view as Hase forces Dustin Rhodes back into the corner.
And a clean break. Hase's fired up. You hear him talking in the ring. I love it.
Rhodes hits the fireman carry into the armbar. And tags in Big Barry Windham. Windham has much more international experience than does Dustin. Could prove important in this contest. Great movement by Hase.
And an excellent reversal. Windham right back with a reversal of his own.
Armbar takedown.
Great wrestling right here. That's what you get in WCW is wrestling.
Hase forcing Windham back into the corner. And now,
this is interesting. Hase wants to test strength with Barry Windham. Wow, he's given up about 40 pounds on this one. Gutsy maneuver by the Japanese.
knuckle lock there, and let's see if Hase can gain an advantage here. It's Windham using that great leverage, putting Hase down. Hase with a great bridge. Boy, he's a phenomenal athlete. Look at the strength. Great strength and conditioning, and a great counter move. Boy, that is just technical perfection there by Hase. Front face lock, and now here comes the big man. Shinya Hashimoto.
Oh, he looks like he wants now. Windham will get a little more test of strength out of Hashimoto here. We got about even in the weight department. Windham a lot taller though. He'll have the leverage advantage.
You better watch the big man's feet. Again, a very unique footwear. Windham gets him up. Good move by Barry. Great leverage and technique there, Jess.
Excellent hook. The head underneath the arm of Hashimoto. The power in the legs got him underneath, flipped him up and over. Excellent move by Barry Windham.
Waistlock and countered by Windham. Into the corner, makes a tag to Dustin Rhodes. And Dustin showing great sportsmanship, backing away as Hashimoto was in the corner, in the ropes.
Well, nobody's really roughed it up yet. It's been all wrestling right now, but at some point, somebody's going to get frustrated.
Hashimoto with a big football block, almost running through the natural there.
This guy looks like he could play football too. One of the few Japanese that looks like he'd be a good pulling guard maybe in the NFL, Jim Ross. That low center of gravity and about 265, 270 pounds of him.
Both men run together there. And even though Dustin had some momentum, that low center of gravity really an asset for Hashimoto. Dustin's got to be thinking of something else here. He gets very, very resourceful. He's certainly advanced in his years as far as technique. Overhand wrist lock takedown into the armbar by Hashimoto. In the corner. Well, they make the tag here. He's close to his partner. Hase is the leader of this duo, no doubt about it. Elbow to the, trying to knot up the tricep. Charlie Horse to tricep if possible. Hammerlock applied. Dustin trying to look for a foot, but he can't find it, and the former Japanese national freestyle champion Hiroshi Hase with a very, very sound maneuver and excellent position. Not only was, now look at the leverage here. Good move by Dustin.
Just slid right back over the top of him. Dustin with them long arms and legs. If you're gonna wrestle him amateur, it's like wrestling a big spider with them long arms and legs.
As a Ted Hendricks-like physique, one of the great defensive linebackers.
The Stork.
Wyndham comes off the top now. Hammerlock and slams him right on the arm. Wyndham with that European-like uppercut forearm. Side headlock. And Big Barry Wyndham. Nice takedown. And look at Hase with another bridge. Tremendous strength right over. And just reverse the pressure. Well, that was beautiful
slick.
move.
Real slick. It's been all wrestling so far, but now I told you, Ross, they'd get frustrated and start roughing it up. Here we go.
Tag made. Hashimoto in. And there's the first kick of this particular contest. Oh, an elbow. Oh, what elbow. He caught him right in the face with that one. Snap mirrors him over with a lot of authority. Interesting move here. Using his big legs. And he's got Wyndham's head crimped. You can see it right there. Modified head scissors because one leg under the arm, and the other one has that almost in a sleeper-like position, crimping the neck.
And look at him bending that arm and getting him into almost a pinning position right here. And again, let me mention, the winner of this match goes against Williams and Gordy for the championship tonight. This is the final semifinal.
Tremendous move here. Using his legs and using them quite well, as a matter of fact. Working on the arm of Barry Wyndham. Wyndham coming back with those knees to the midsection. Working on Wyndham's right hand and arm. Referee calling for the break finally makes Hashimoto understand. Hashimoto and Hase certainly don't want to be disqualified here. As Wyndham comes back with those elbows. Wyndham and Rhodes both great deal of resiliency. Take a lot of punishment. They got great fighting spirit. There's just no doubt about that. Two second-generation athletes. Big bionic elbow there. Arm drag takedown. Good move by the natural. Getting underneath Hashimoto. And burying that knee now into his bicep.
And Dustin Rhodes driving that knee in, back to the wrist, putting the pressure on.
Fans, don't forget that on the Wrestling Hotline, Lance Russell and Gordon Solie on there right now covering the event. Later you can talk to the World's Champion and to the new NWA Tag Champions. That on the Wrestling Hotline. And I'll have my wrap-up program at 11 o'clock Eastern time tonight. Hope you'll be able to give us a call. Good clean break by Dustin. Really got to be impressed, and all the youngsters out there got to be impressed with the sportsmanship. It's a great example for the youngsters.
Yeah, right. You know how I feel about that, Ross? Nice guys finish last usually.
Dustin Rhodes sticking those rights in there on Hashimoto. Caught him with the elbow. Hashimoto was taunting Dustin. And Dustin didn't take long to convince him to start fighting. And Hashimoto caught him either in the throat or in the eyes. I couldn't see which. Oh, kick right to the gut. You could hear those kicks like a mule.
And I think sportsmanship's now disappeared. It's the will to win now. Who cares about sportsmanship?
Well, anybody with character, I think. Good counter move there. The big man gets 270 off the ground with that spinning karate kick, caught Rhodes in the face.
Caught him right with the heel of his foot, right in the eye, it looked like.
There's a tag. Rhodes in trouble here.
Ooh, spike pile driver.
Hase, the legal man. Spike pile driver right off the top.
And Rhodes is real fortunate he rolled out under the rope or he'd be pinned right now. He got lucky. He happened to roll the right way, and I'm sure it wasn't by design because he has no idea where he's at.
Rhodes trying to shake it loose here. Comes back instinctively with the elbow, but Hase catches him with a hard chop. And another one. Rhodes with a roundhouse right, and a straight right, and a bionic elbow. Hase, he hesitated a little bit too long there after that pile driver, but he caught him right in the heart with a knee, perhaps in the solar plexus. Tag made. They're taking advantage of the count here. Double shoulder blocks, but Hashimoto is the legal man. Well, the referee didn't see the tag.
He's not going to allow it.
Big elbow. Man, he got
Hashimoto's putting the punishment on anyway. No, referee apparently did not see the tag. It's not going to hurt the Japanese team, though.
We're seeing some good officiating here tonight.
Very good.
Knee lift by Hase. A kick to the side of the head. Boy, Rhodes is taking a lot of punishment. He keeps fighting back, trying to get back to his feet. Deliver those blows. That's exactly what he's doing. Another chop. The elbow this time. Hase's chop's really effective.
Big forearm, totally legal, right in the middle of the back of Dustin Rhodes.
Rhodes ready to make the tag. Wyndham ready to accept it. But Hase has other thoughts. Working on the back now, the natural. Remember, they've compressed his neck there with that spike pile driver. And now after all the finesse.
After that spike pile driver, he's probably only 6'4" now, Ross. He was 6'6" when he went into the ring.
Well, after all the finesse of Hase, they've got Hashimoto in, and Wyndham just fires into the ring, attacking Hashimoto and Hase. Referee's got to put an irate Barry Windham back out as Rhodes takes the turnbuckle.
Windham had taken enough out there. He's seen the double team out of the Japanese team 2 or 3 times. Figured he better get in there to try to save his partner.
Knee to the abdomen. Hashimoto buried that one. And the young man from Austin, Texas, being tested here. Front face lock. Into the suplex. A lot of impact on that one. Floats over. And got 2 out of it. Hashimoto with a lateral press. Got a near fall. He wanted 3, but referee Nick Patrick got only the 2 count that time. Crowd here in the Albany, Georgia Civic Center. Tremendous crowd on hand, really getting in with it. Double suplex. Good double team offense. They use the count again. And right now, there he sets down with a Boston Crab.
Tremendous pressure here on the lower back area on Dustin Rhodes. This could be a submission. Look at the face. Look at the pain Dustin Rhodes is in. He's going to yell, "Daddy, Daddy," any second now.
I don't think so. As Wyndham comes in.
15 minutes, the time limit.
Hammer Hase.
And it's a good thing Wyndham did, or Rhodes would have submitted, I think.
You sound like Greg Valentine.
That's a hell of a compliment, Ross.
Great suplex there by Hase. And Hase now climbing the ladder up on top. And if he hits this one, it'll be over in my estimation. Up. Oh, both knees! He was trying to drive both knees into the heart, but he found nothing but air. Dustin Rhodes with a big lariat. Now can the kid make the tag? Yes, he can. The tag is made, and Barry Windham is in. Windham in with those right hands. Front face lock by the big man from Sweetwater. Tremendous suplex. Floats over. A lateral press. And Hase kicks out at 2.
Windham needs to keep the momentum going here, and he is. Power body slam.
Power slam. 1, 2, and Hase able to kick out. Windham hitting Hase with everything he's got. Here comes the abdominal stretch.
And look at Windham driving the tape fist again. Into the ribs.
Here comes Hashimoto in. He's met with a lariat. All 4 men in there now.
Referee better get some type of control and get 2 men in there. Legal man is Windham and Hase.
Oh, Tony! He caught Hase with a lariat. And he wraps the legs up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, advancing to the finals, the team of the Natural, Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham.
Windham and Rhodes walking tall from the Lone Star State, a man that's taken a pounding in the 2 matches they've had here today. They will meet Williams and Gordy to see the new NWA Tag Team Champions will be. And they got check time for those 2.
Here you see right there Hase going into the ropes. Dustin Rhodes with a great leapfrog. Hase runs right into the clothesline of Barry Windham. You can see the back of his head thump off that mat, come bouncing about 12 inches. Windham hooks both legs as well as the arm, gets the 3 count, and the Texicans head to the finals to meet on Oklahoma.
Fans, when we come back, it'll be the world title. Let's go back up to Tony Schiavone and Magnum TA.
Okay, Jim Ross, thank you very much. We have our final set now, and it's going to be a tremendous match.
2 impressive, hard-fought victories by Windham and Rhodes, and they're going to have their work cut out for them in the finals with Doc and Gordy.
Okay, let's talk to this man right here. We talked so much about the All-American Rod Simmons, really now the All-Pro Rod Simmons. Rod, you're not too far away from Warner Robins here in Albany, and the fans love you. We've got not only the NWA World Tag Team Championship match to go, but the big match coming up next for the world title, Sting and Big Van Vader.
You're right, Tony. I'm not far away from home. I like to say, what's happening, Albany? And you know, I can't tell you how thrilled and how proud I am to be a part of the greatest wrestling organization in this country, and that's the WCW. As you witnessed tonight, either you kick it or you get kicked here, because this is the real deal of wrestling, right here. And you know something, Tony? The next match coming up is the one that I'm more important, that I really want to see. That's for all the marbles, for all the King's Jewel. Every wrestler in this sport dreams of walking that aisle, getting in that ring, and holding up that belt that says, I am the world's heavyweight champion. And so does Ron Simmons. His road, my road hasn't been uneasy, and it hasn't been one that I could easily walk down. But it hasn't said stop, yield, or slow down. The only sign that I want to read on my road should say, this way to the world's heavyweight champion.
Okay, Ron Simmons with us here on the Great American Bash as we go back to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest of the Great American Bash. It is for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. It is set for 1 fall with a 1-hour time limit. Introducing first the challenger, accompanied by 7-time former World Heavyweight Champion Harley Race. He's from the Rocky Mountains. He weighs 448 pounds. Big Van Vader.
There is a challenger who says that he is the uncrowned world's heavyweight champion. 448 pounds, Jess.
He may be the crown champion in a matter of minutes, Jim Ross.
He's the man that bruised Sting's sternum, busted his ribs, put Sting in the hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, several weeks ago. This is the long-awaited rematch from that outing. Vader in that very bizarre ceremony. Man that played in the National Football League, played in the Hula Bowl, the Senior Bowl. He played in the Japan Bowl, but it's not football here today. This is for the world title, and the man is next.
And ladies and gentlemen, from Venice Beach, California, weighing 250 pounds, he is the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Sting!
The Stinger.
Here he comes, Jim Ross, the champion.
And he's got the little Stingers here. The signs all over the Civic Center. Youngsters with their faces painted. The posters. They are here in tremendous support of the most charismatic athlete, the franchise, here in WCW. That man, the Stinger, and he has beat them all. As you heard Cowboy Bill Watts say, he beat the legendary Ric Flair to win the world title. He's beaten them all convincingly, including Lex Luger, including Sid Vicious, and the list goes on and on. But this, without a doubt, is his greatest challenge. The biggest, the most powerful man that I have ever witnessed in WCW is Big Van Vader.
Sting is the best. He is the best for right now. But Big Van Vader, I think, and I got to agree with you, Ross, and I don't always agree with you, this is his biggest challenge that he has ever had in the ring. Because look at that. He's looking at about a 200-pound weight difference.
Sting has got to be quick. We know he's in the greatest shape of his life, and he will not be intimidated physically or mentally by Big Van Vader. Boy, Sting looks great, doesn't he, Jess?
He's in shape. He's ready, but so is Vader, and you can bet the 7-time world champion, Harley Race, has him totally prepared, totally focused.
Collar and elbow tie-up. Big forearms, oh my! Tremendous forearms. High-impact blows by Big Van Vader on the Stinger, already taking their toll on the heavyweight champion of the world. Vader's backed him into the corner. The referee's got to break this thing up.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sting made a mistake allowing himself to get backed in that corner. He needs to hit, he needs to move, he needs to try to tire Vader out. Because the longer the match goes, I think the advantage goes to Sting because of the endurance factor. But Sting has been caught here. Vader scored early, and the champion's in major trouble.
High-impact moves by Big Van Vader here in the early going, and the world's heavyweight champion distancing himself somewhat from the challenger. Harley Race right here by us. Why don't they keep the managers that've got to be here in their own corner?
Harley hasn't done nothing.
I didn't say he had done nothing. I said he should stay in his own corner.
Why?
Because that's where he belongs.
He can walk anywhere he wants as long as he does not interfere in the match, Ross.
Vader going with that big clothesline, and the Stinger hits him. Oh, wow. He nailed him, and Vader didn't even flinch hardly. Trying for a cross body, and Vader catches Sting like he was about 140 pounds. There, Ron Simmons, Tony Schiavone looking at this one.
Maybe Ron Simmons is going to watch this and decide, you know what, he's shaking his head. Maybe I don't want a shot at the title.
Sting in tremendous shape, as we said. I talked to him quite some time earlier today. He really felt good about his game plan. He knows that this is going to be the greatest challenge of his career. We talked about his former conquests, but nothing compares with the mass and the power of Big Van Vader. And Vader again catches Sting in the corner. Sting has got to stay away from the corner. Irish whip, move the whole ring, but Sting quickly moves out of the way. Oh yeah! A suplex, and shook the ring, and shook the rafters, a clothesline. Sting now with momentum, takes Vader all the way over. The world's champion, showing just what he's made of.
The champion has exploded into the ring. A combination of moves, hits Vader with the clothesline, drives him over the top rope, and look at Harley Race. He's protesting outside the ring. I don't think Vader's ever been knocked out of a ring like that before.
He hit him with that impact. He suplexed the big man. I have never seen Vader at 448 suplexed like the heavyweight champion of the world suplexed him. And then the impact. I mean, it sounded like a car crash. It was right above us when Vader went out over the top.
And I'll tell you, Harley Race is irate outside the ring. You notice how Race is trying to distract Sting, trying to get his mind on him to allow Vader, give him that little extra time to get his wind back, get back in the ring and do damage.
Vader with some instructions, or Race rather, with some instructions.
What a great matchup this
Vader.
is. Two totally different styles in the ring.
Sting, 6'3 and a half, 250. Vader about 6'5 and a half, 448. And Vader challenging Sting now for a test of strength.
Sting shouldn't be stupid and get into this, and he is. Sting should stay away from any type of move like this. Look at Race taunting Sting outside the ring, calling him a coward, telling him, show some guts. Hook up with the big man.
He's got guts, and he is not a coward, and he shouldn't be listening to the taunts of Harley Race, but the Stinger is a competitor, will not back away from anything. Look at the reach advantage of Big Van Vader. Sting thinking it over. This is not the most judicious move that he could execute here. A test of strength with Big Van Vader. But he is a competitor.
Sting's out looking to the little Stingers for help, but the little Stingers ain't around to help him in this one. He's got to do it by himself.
Hey.
Oh, man, this is a mistake.
Lock it up.
Big mistake by the champion. Look at that. He thumbed him in the eye.
And he hit him with the right hand. And another right. And another right. Vader is wobbly. Sting stomped on that foot and caught him. Oh, my. What a right hand. A drop kick. Vader goes down again. And the challenger knocked off his feet twice by the heavyweight champion of the world. A spinning savate kick. And Vader now in trouble. Oh, he can't. Can he suplex him from there?
He's going to try.
Yes, sir.
Whoa.
What power by the champion. Lateral press. 1-2 and a near fall. Wow, what power. Oh, Vader caught him coming in. You got to wonder how much power, how much energy, and how much strength Sting exerted, how much he spent on those high-impact moves.
And now he's in big trouble because he does not want to be down on the mat with Big Van Vader standing over the top of him. You can hear Harley Race yelling, give it up, Sting, give it up.
Sting with a big foot right to the face, and another one, and another one. Again, down goes Vader. The champion taking right to him, inside cradle. He can hold him here. He's got 2.5. I thought he had it. And again, Vader on the outside. Vader seems to be a little bewildered. He seems to be confused because I don't think, quite frankly, he expected Sting to stick it right in his big, ugly face, and that's exactly what he's doing.
What are you doing in my face?
Harley Race is irate. I'm sure they thought that there was no way that the champion would go toe-to-toe with him, but you gotta hand it to Sting. He came in prepared, he came in with vengeance, and he's laying it on Big Van Vader. Vader needs to cut him off and slow the match down. That's to Vader's advantage.
Irish whip attempted, but reversed. Sting up and over. Great quickness. Oh, my! Vader right on his chest, right on that sternum. 448 dropped right on his sternum.
And look at Vader posing.
Yeah, that's real smart.
There's
With
the
world
most
titles on the
muscular
line.
double bicep. Guy looks good, little bulky, not quite cut up a lot, but massive.
I heard bodybuilding wasn't doing so good, and he ain't got no future in bodybuilding.
There ain't no money in it, I'll tell you that.
Elbow right to the solar plexus, and Sting again. You don't know internally how much this high-impact style of Vader affects the champion.
Oh.
To what degree? Another elbow drop.
And that's a 450-pound elbow coming down. He's gonna measure him for another one.
Oh, big splash.
It's over.
And Sting able to get that one shoulder. He spun out from underneath Vader. He didn't power out. He didn't lift Vader off of him. He spun out from underneath him. And he has been busted up right here. With all those high-impact moves. The splash and the elbow drops. Again, we're not dealing with a normal human being here in the challenger. And those are just
Look at Vader.
Insulting kicks right in the ribs. Well, Vader's taking his time.
Look at this.
Wow, what
Picks him
strength.
up.
Oh, my.
Picks him up.
Right by the throat, holding him over his head. He is the most powerful athlete I have ever seen on any athletic field.
See, this is to Vader's advantage now. Sting's down, he's hurt. Vader can measure him for the slow, methodical moves, whatever he wants to do to him. Step over toe hold right here.
10 minutes gone by, 10 minutes.
Not only is Sting feeling pain right here, he's in a pinning predicament. He could get pinned.
Stretching the ligaments there. Hey, he's got him almost in a scorpion deathlock position here,
Wouldn't that be something? Beat the champion with his own hold. Would that be insult to injury, Ross, or what?
Indeed it would, as we look over the shoulder of Big Ron Simmons there.
He's got him in the scorpion deathlock.
His Sting's own maneuver, the scorpion deathlock.
Sting knows how to put it on. Does he know how to get out of it? That's the question now.
Vader's got it applied a little high, it would seem, but still with tremendous pressure. Perhaps more on the ankles than the knees here. Oh, Sting almost out of it. He's close. Referee about ready to ring the bell there. Crowd here getting into it. Their champion in trouble.
Look at the strength on the part of the Stinger.
Oh! And Vader just sits back down on it. Well, that again, he's expending so much of his energy and so much of his strength just to keep from getting his legs broken here. He is close. How much more can the champion of the world take?
And which way does he go to get out of it? I mean, he tries to push himself up. When he does that, Vader's going to sit right back on him and drop him back down again.
Sting, with all he's got, every muscle in his body contracted. Finally, with strength, lower body strength, able to force Vader away from him.
But he is hurt. Look at Sting, the right leg is dragging, the lower back is killing him.
Big time right hand. The champion of the world is in deep trouble, in more trouble than I've ever seen him in his championship career. Vader again, the big right hand. And Sting barely just hanging on the second rope. Irish whip, far side. Oh, Vader caught him. He caught him with a dynamic clothesline. That huge arm right in his face.
Look at Vader yelling, it's over, and it might well be. Sting making no moves to even get up at this point.
Sting, his running lights indeed have been not only dim, they may have been put out right there. He's barely able to stand. He got a faraway look on his face. Vader has him up. Oh, power slam. And Sting kicked out. The champion kicked out.
Well,
and Race can't believe it.
That's why he's the champion. You gotta respect him.
Tremendous display of determination and fortitude by the champion. Vader backs him again into the corner. Sting does not want to be here.
Sting has no choice where he wants to be at this point.
Vicious headbutts.
Look at Vader just measuring him, taking his time.
Sting blocks it, cuts back to the right hand. Martial arts, blows by the Stinger. Going for some momentum. He caught him, oh, what a move! A new move by the Stinger. That rolling karate kick. He caught Vader in the face with that one. And the 448-pound challenger is down.
Both men down on the mat. Sting needs to keep it up now.
DDT! Sting with a DDT! Now Vader is in danger of being pinned here, but Sting can't cover him.
Sting needs to crawl over and cover him.
Fatigue factor being just setting in here.
15 minutes gone by, 15 minutes.
Past the 15-minute mark in this one. Sting has had to carry the weight of this huge man. Trying to run through him. He knocked him outside, but Sting took a tremendous part of the impact as well. Sting put his body on the line there. Tried to run through this big monster and at least knock Vader to the apron. But Sting is down again.
Vader's on his feet. He's not going up, is he?
Well, if he comes off, it's a disqualification.
If he comes off the top.
Sting with a kick right to the solar plexus. Vader now lying on the top.
And now it's Sting who can measure Vader. Vader is caught on the top rope, totally helpless. Sting laying in those kicks 3 and 4 times on Big Van Vader.
He's trying to get him up. What's he going to do here? Vader's 448 pounds. Sting's got Vader up on his shoulders. Can he hold him? He's got the huge man up, the champion. With all the strength in his body, with Vader up on his shoulders. Look at strength of the... What's he going to do here? Oh, what a slam! How he executed that slam! I'll never know what strength!
He's got to cover him!
He may have anything! He may have him here! And 2 and a half! What a move by Sting, the champion! Putting that 448 pounds on his shoulder and executing a slam behind him, trying to go for a suplex. Vader caught him with the elbow. I'm not so sure Sting can suplex him anyway. Vader 448. Oh! Well, Sting, referee's down. Sting's got him. He's got him pinned. He's got him pinned. 1, 2, 3. Oh, the referee was knocked down for a couple of counts. Sting had the man pinned. Sting had Big Van Vader pinned in that suplex, but the referee could not be there to count it. Oh, this match is taking its toll on both men. Sting just got 1 foot on the drop kick. Going for the Stinger Splash, and he hits it. The Stinger Splash. Vader and Sting. Oh, my. Sting hit his head. He hit his head on that steel railing there, Jess, where that hook is, right by his left arm, his right arm.
Both men. Vader sitting on the seat of his pants in the center of the ring. He's not sure where he is. Sting literally draped over the top rope. Almost, I think he's unconscious.
Sting hit his head on that steel support. He's bleeding. Sting hit his head on that steel support. The champion is hurt. He hit his head on the steel. Oh, my. Oh, my. This will be all. He can't get up from this one. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. What do you think about the champion of the world? Battered and bloody, but he got that shoulder off. This guy will not quit. He hit his head. I saw it as clear as day. Right on that steel support. Oh, he's in a weakened state. Oh, that big. Oh, he's in trouble. He's hurt. He is hurt.
And Vader's measuring him.
He may have a concussion. He slapped that steel, and it didn't give.
Sting had everything going his way. He had the chance to win it, and one move has cost him and cost him dearly.
Ray's calling for the power bomb. And, oh, God. He just planted him with a power bomb, and Vader has won it. Vader has won the world title.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match and new WCW World Heavyweight Champion, Big Van Vader.
Big Van Vader, the new WCW Heavyweight Champion of the world.
And you can see, Jim Ross, the crowd is stunned. They can't believe it here in Albany, Georgia. They are stunned.
Stinger needs some medical attention. There's no doubt about that. The fans here are very irate as to what has transpired. Sting may have suffered a concussion. His head slapped right across the steel. It was a violent impact, fans. He suplexed the big man. He did more than anyone thought he could do physically.
Here's the move where Sting had it going his way. He's coming from the corner with the big stinger. He goes over the top, wham! You can see him hit the ring post. Here's Big Van Vader with the power bomb. Driving Sting down, wham. Hooks the leg. Hooks the former champion. 1, 2, 3. And we have a new WCW World Heavyweight Champion.
I'll tell you something, there's Ron Simmons in the ring, senior referee Ole Anderson. Grizzly Smith is up there attending to the former champion of the world. It's going to be hard to say that as time goes on. But I'll tell you something, he did things to Big Van Vader that no athlete has ever executed. He executed a couple of suplexes that were awesome. A slam, he suplexed him from the outside back in, but he expended so much energy in carrying that 450 pounds, and then the blow that he struck his head, lacerated his head. The champion of the world, no more. Big Van Vader has defeated Sting here at the Great American Bash, and indeed we do have a new heavyweight champion. Well, I want to tell you something, I'm a little shocked, quite frankly.
I think the whole crowd is shocked, and I'll tell you what, now the question arises, Jim Ross, who can possibly beat Big Van Vader?
Well, I think that Sting certainly deserves a rematch. As a matter of fact, I don't know if Tony and Magnum will concur with that, but they're standing by.
Well, Jim, I would. Certainly Sting does deserve a rematch, and such a high-impact world title match. It came down to one mistake, and of course Van Vader walks away the WCW World Heavyweight title. What did you think of the match, Mac?
I think Sting came here in the best physical shape of his life, and he showed more heart than you could ever ask of any athlete. And even though he went down here in defeat tonight, Sting is #1 on my list.
I would agree. A tremendous WCW World Heavyweight title match, and we have a new heavyweight champion of the world. He is Big Van Vader. Fans, we do understand right now that Eric Bischoff is attempting to get back in Big Van Vader's dressing room to talk to the new world heavyweight champion. Let's go to Eric right now.
All right, thanks, Jim Ross, Jesse Ventura. I am with the new world's heavyweight champion, Big Van Vader. And let me start off with you, Harley Race. You had to be shocked, like everyone else, at the power of Sting.
What do you mean shocked? It went just like it was supposed to be. This man is the greatest athlete on the face of God's green earth, and we just showed every little stinger out there that the myth is gone. The myth has been destroyed. This is the king of athletes, the king of wrestling. The man in wrestling today is Big Van Vader.
All right, how about it, Van Vader? Already people talking about the rematch between you and Sting. Will we see a rematch, Van Vader?
To me, the pain game has been taught. The lesson has been learned. And brother, the pain game is over for Big Van Vader. Stands on top of the world. The heavyweight champion of the world. Yeah!
Well, wrestling fans, they talk about history here at the Great American Bash. This one may go down in history as the only heavyweight title match to show up on a Richter scale. Let's go back now to Jim Ross and Jesse Ventura.
Well, he did a good job of avoiding the question when asking about the rematch. Maybe when the opportunities present themselves for contracts, I know that rematch is going to be signed.
Hey, Ross, let me tell you something. That is a dumb question. In the ecstatic and the joy that Harley Race and Van Vader are feeling right now, why should they even worry about thinking about a rematch? The choice is up to them. If they want to give Sting one, they can. If they don't, they won't.
Well, Jess, in just a few moments, we'll return to the ring. It'll be the finals of the NWA World Tag Team Tournament. It'll be Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy taking on Dustin Rhodes and Barry Windham. I see that referee Ole Anderson will be assigned this contest. For the official introductions, let's go back to Gary Capetta.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is the final bout in the NWA Tag Team Tournament. The winners of this match to be crowned NWA World Tag Team Champions. It is set for one fall with a 1 hour time limit. Introducing team number 1, they are the WCW World Tag Team Champions, now residing in Nagoya, Japan, at a total combined weight of 545 pounds. Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
The introductions from Dr. Destiny Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy, the new NWA World Tag Team title belts on display now, Jess. Should be an outstanding matchup, but I really, you have to wonder how much the new Texans have left. Let's go back to Gary.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents, introducing first from Austin, Texas. He weighs 261 pounds. The natural, Dustin Rhodes. And from Sweetwater, Texas, 279 pounds, Barry Windham.
Windham and Austin, or Windham and Rhodes. Rhodes from Austin, Windham from Sweetwater. Senior referee Ole Anderson fans are a little bit of shock here. But, well, we hear a roar of the crowd, and it's for the Steiner brothers making their way to the ring.
Now, what is their purpose for being out here?
Well, we know why they're here. They're here to get their hands on Williams and Gordy. They have a rematch signed for the World Tag Titles against Dr. Death and Bam Bam. But they want to get it on right now, and obviously that cannot happen.
That's all fine and dandy, but pick the right night to do it, and it is not tonight. Windham and Rhodes got the shot tonight to win the NWA Tag Team titles.
WCW security suggesting the Steiners leave the ringside area. There are the new NWA World Tag Team Championship belts that will be awarded to the winner of this contest. And will Williams and Gordy be able to make it a clean sweep in these past 7 days? Or will the two Texans of Rhodes and Windham be able to reach down and really pull this thing out? Because quite frankly, their two matches, the quarterfinal match and the semifinal match, have really been challenging for them. It's going to be Barry Windham and Dr. Destiny Williams starting it out. Collar and elbow tie-up. And Windham being forced back into the corner by Dr. Death. Ole Anderson stepping in between them, separating them.
One thing about this matchup, you're going to be about equal in strength.
Doc straining his shoulder there, trying to pull it loose there. Both men rather cautious here in this championship event. Barry going behind, waistlock. Trying to take Doc down, but Doc countered it.
Big advantage, one advantage Windham and Rhodes are going to have. Their bodies are so long and they're so tall, they can get to the ropes easy.
Bam Bam Gordy back in. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on the Wrestling Hotline, the new World's Heavyweight Champion, Big Van Vader and Harley Race, taking phone calls live now, being interviewed by Lance Russell and Gordon Soley. Selected callers will be allowed to talk to the new champion. And the winner of this match will also be on the hotline a little bit later. So if you'd like to talk to the new World's Champion or hear what they have to say, or talk to the new tag champions, I encourage you to call 1-900. Terry Bam Bam Gordy having a few words with Ole Anderson, and I can assure you that Anderson will not be intimidated. I understand that Vader is with the media at this point and will be taking calls after we go off the air. Nice go behind by Gordy, Dustin on the ropes.
See if we get a clean break here.
Waistlock takedown, no clean break. In the ropes. Took advantage of the situation, did Gordy.
Absolutely, and troubleshooting referee Ole Anderson, he's going to let him by with some stuff. These are big men and they're professionals.
Big elbows there by Dustin Rhodes. Tremendous flurry there. Knocks Gordy down now and drops that knee right on the leg. I really think that Windham and Rhodes have got to get Gordy and Williams off their feet I think that Williams and Gordy will have a strength advantage. Perhaps not in leverage, but I do think so in strength, especially Dr. Death. As Rhodes tags in Big Barry Windham. They're working. Going for that figure 4.
Oh, and he's almost got it sunk in. Look at Bam Bam holding onto the foot so he can't get full leverage down on it. Smart move by Gordy. He's got Wyndham's foot so that he can't put full pressure and makes it over to the ropes. Wow, this one could have ended quick.
Gordy, who has had some knee problems, I think as all professional athletes have, one time or another. But whether healthy knees or not, the figure 4 will certainly encourage you to see an orthopedic surgeon. Williams with a waist lock, bear hug, belly-to-belly suplex. He planted Barry Windham there. Dr. Death has that arm hook. But Windham with quite a bit of leverage there, as you can see. Doc can't get control of Barry. As Barry now
gets control of Dr. Death.
Certainly does. Good movement by Windham, and Williams rolls through again to recapture the advantage. Both men back up vertically, and good move by Windham taking Doc down, that armbar takedown.
I think the crowd here is still stunned at the Sting losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Big Van Vader.
Windham in the ropes. Well, I can understand that emotion. The champion did things to that 450 pound, the former champion, I should say, that I thought not possible, as Williams drives the knees right into the face of Barry Windham. And Wyndham's head rammed violently into the top turnbuckle. Here comes Terry Bam Bam Gordy in. Straight right hand. This time almost a forearm instead of a fist. Oh, followed him in with a clothesline. And Windham is being battered here. And right now it's lateral press, leg is hooked, and just barely able to kick out. Dustin Rhodes in after the tag.
You know what I like about Williams and Gordy, how methodical they are in that ring. They know what they want to do and they get the job done.
Well, they're like wrestling machines. They just are so darn proficient at tag team wrestling and so tough. As Dustin has control of the leg, Gordy's trying to think of a counter here. And Dustin with that knee drop right to the quadricep muscle. Turning the ankle against the grain. And drops the knee again to the thigh. Gordy able to make the tag. And now it's Dustin Rhodes and Dr. Death Steve Williams in there.
And a good move by Dustin Rhodes right there. He saw the tag, he released Gordy's shot across the ring and got back upright again before Dr. Death Steve Williams could catch him down after that tag was made.
Side headlock takeover. Good counter move by Dustin. Didn't have it long. Side headlock takedown by Dustin. Counter move by Doc, but he doesn't have it long. Side headlock. Leverage advantage here, Jess.
Leverage advantage will go to Dustin Rhodes, but strength is going to go to Dr. Death.
Dr. Death got his nickname in the 9th grade. So he's had it for quite some time and has earned it on many athletic fields. Ask some guys like Steve McMichael of the Chicago Bears what it was like to play across the line from Dr. Death in college. It wasn't a pleasant experience as Doc tries to turn into that overhand wrist lock. Now it's Williams' strength against Rhodes' leverage.
And Williams' strength, I think, is winning out here. Yep. Yep.
Doc, one of the strongest men in the game. But Dustin, see, he stands over Doc. He's got that leverage. He's pushing down.
Wow, look at this. Whoa, and Doc had to grab the hair. I love it.
Grabbed a handful of hair there. Not very ethical, but effective, apparently.
Ethical? This is wrestling. Who cares about ethics? You want that? Go to Washington, Ross.
Nice,
they don't care about ethics there either.
Nice arm drag takeover. As Dr. Death in the ropes, we'll get a break here, and a clean one from Dustin Rhodes. Dr. Death right here on the outside, right above us.
Almost falling on you, Jim Ross. You better be awake.
I am. I'm definitely awake after what we've seen here today. Boy, this has been a physical, any tournament, any type tournament. Very physically challenging, and Williams and Gordy wrestling their second match here tonight, and this is the third contest for Rhodes and Wyndham. Single leg pickup by Williams, makes a tag, and look at Dustin fight out of that corner. He's got to fight out, but Doc holds on to the leg until Gordy can get there.
He's in trouble. He got caught in the corner, and here comes Gordy trying to turn him over. Half Boston Crab. Now he's going back to, he's trying to hook.
That's his Oriental twist.
The Oriental twist again. But look at how smart Rhodes did his schoolwork. Oh, he got the chin up, though. He should have kept his head down on the mat. Instead, he lifted up his chin, and he allowed Bam Bam Gordy to get that forearm underneath it.
Almost a step over like move with a crossface, as Gordy is pulling back on the neck and wrenching the knee simultaneously.
And now we're going to find out just how much guts Dustin Rhodes has got. We know his old man's got plenty of guts, literally.
Rhodes being tested right here. Now he's wrenching the knee. What a maneuver by Gordy, as Dustin's got to think of a way. Well, those elbows will get you free from it, but kid just barely able to stand up and goes for the sleeper.
Well, that's a desperation move on the part of Dustin Rhodes. He had no alternative, and look at this.
He made the tag. Boy, that is a great tag by Gordy, reaching back while he was in trouble, making the tag to Williams. And Dr. Death now hammering at the spine and the lower back of Dustin Rhodes. And now Doc tying Dustin up.
Dustin Rhodes trying to push that reverse chin lock off the chin to get himself free, but Dr. Death has got it cinched in real tight, as well as having the leg hook down below. Dustin Rhodes nowhere to go on this one. You can tell the frustration of Barry Windham on the apron right now. He knows his young partner's in deep trouble in the ring.
Ole Anderson making the men on the outside stay near their corner. I think that's very good officiating. You should be there anyways. As a matter of fact, they got the tag ropes there. I haven't seen too many guys use them, but they're there, and theoretically, you need to be holding a tag rope when you make the tag. See the rope hanging there. Dustin back up, and man, he drove his head right up into the jaw of Dr. Death Steve Williams. Caught him with those big long legs.
Upset.
He may have him here, and he got two out of it. Doc blocking Rhodes from making the tag. Ole Anderson's count rather methodic.
You can see Rhodes' punches not having a lot of effect on Dr. Death Steve Williams. Williams able to tag Bam Bam Gordy into the ring, and look at right back to the leg.
Gordy bringing Rhodes back into his corner, and now trying to turn him over.
And turned him over pretty easily.
Remember excuse me, Jess, earlier it was Hasse with the Boston Crab, and here comes Windham in. He had to do something there.
Absolutely he had to. His partner is in big trouble, and that was a desperation move by Barry Windham, or there might have been a submission right there. Dustin Rhodes in major trouble right here with Dr. Death.
And Doc got Dustin up in that power slam. Hooks a leg, and Dustin able to kick out. And Doc not too pleased with the speed or lack of speed by the county official. But listen, if it's the same for both teams, that's all that matters.
That's right. If he counts fast or if he counts slow, as long as he does it the same both ways, you cannot complain. But if he does go faster for one team than another, then you do have a complaint.
Good drop toe, but he made the tag. It helps when you're 6'6" and your partner's the same height. Barry Windham in there now. And BW says, Doc for the ride, and got him up. Got him up. Here comes Gordy right at you. And a lariat by Barry. A kick to the midsection on Dr. Death. Front face lock into the suplex. Wyndham floats over. He may have it right here. 1, 2, and Doc got that shoulder up. Williams able to get up before 3.
Barry Windham needs to stay on the offense, and he's doing it. Gut-wrench suplex right there. Over for another cover.
Got a 2 count. Doc got the left shoulder up. Barry in his haste didn't hook the leg, neutralize the lower body. Irish whip, and this time it's a sleeper by big Barry Windham. Windham, as we said, approximately 6 feet 6 inches tall with all that leverage, and he went right over the top turnbuckle, and he may have jammed his shoulder into the ring post. Dr. Death dropped out of sight there, and Windham, I think, contacted the ring post with his shoulder. Here comes Gordy back in. Williams and Gordy have made more tags in this tournament than any other team. There's that vertical suplex. And Gordy now trying to put Windham away. He may have it here. He's got that leg hook, and Barry just barely able to get his left shoulder off the canvas.
Well, you can definitely tell who's the more experienced tag team, and that's Williams and Gordy, as you said, Jim Ross. The frequent tags they're making, and you can tell how they work together like one. These guys have been all over the world together, and they're the world champions now. They are the best in the world. If they get beat here, you consider it an upset.
Gordy with that reverse chin lock right now, as we pointed out so many times. What you're seeing now is that Windham is having to sustain not only his own weight, trying to gain that oxygen to get more energy, but he's also having to carry a portion of Terry Bam Bam Gordy's weight. And that is a tremendous challenge, especially when you consider this is Windham and Rhodes' 3rd match of the night. Side headlock, one of wrestling's most basic maneuvers. A maneuver that Ed Strangler Lewis over the years won many championships with and retained his with a basic side headlock.
And you know that, Ross. At your age, I'm sure you watched Strangler many, many times.
Oh, there's a suplex.
I never got a chance to. You know, when you're only 32 years old, you weren't around when Strangler was around. But when you're 49, Jim Ross, you had a chance to see him, right?
Dr. Death comes back in. We don't want to get into age with your birthday coming up Wednesday. Kicked right to the chest. Williams is so physical. Everything he does is painful. And Windham caught him in the head with that knee. But then this time the flat of the foot.
But again, look at Dr. Death grabbing the leg, pulling back on Barry Windham, stopping him from making the tag to the natural Dustin Rhodes.
Dustin trying with all he's got to make the tag.
Look at their arms flapping in the breeze out there, but meeting nothing.
They've got the long wingspan, but Williams with all his strength able to pull Gordy back, or tag Gordy, pull Windham back to the corner. And Gordy dropped the elbow right in Wyndham's face.
Williams holds him in there, makes the legal tag, holds him until Gordy can measure him, and look at this series of elbows.
Went for 1 too many right there as Windham got out of the way, but he hit several of them, and Windham still can't make the tag.
And again, you notice Rhodes is on the wrong side of the turnbuckle. This kid better learn tag team wrestling a little bit better than that and shift where he's at. When his partner's on one side of the turnbuckle, he needs to get there.
Well, he got there right now, and he came in with a lot of vengeance, and referee Ole Anderson sending him out. Also, good officiating, sending Terry Bam Bam Gordy out. Front face lock by Dr. Death Steve Williams. And this, as elementary as it looks, if you've ever participated in athletics, in wrestling that is, one of the most painful maneuvers in the sport, a front face lock. Interesting move here. Almost a abdominal stretch, but a modified version there.
Yeah, absolutely, it is a modified version of an abdominal stretch. Same move, got the leg hooked, got the shoulder bent back, stretching and pulling. Tough to breathe from that position for Barry Windham. And when it's their 3rd match of the night, they need all the oxygen they can possibly get.
Perspiration running off the face of Dr. Death Steve Williams, who has Barry Windham in a submission maneuver.
And he's got him hooked, and hooked well. And look at that, in great position. If he wants to tag, he can tag. I'm speaking, of course, of Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Barry in the ropes now.
And there's the tag. That's been the key in this tournament, as you said, Jim Ross. Gordy and Williams cutting off the ring, keeping themselves strategic in good spots to make the tags when they need to.
Gordy getting some momentum, and bam! They cracked their heads together, ran right together. Did Gordy and Wyndham, and both are down now. Here are the finals of the NWA World Tag Team Title Tournament.
Not by design, but you notice Gordy's closer to his corner than Wyndham is to his.
Gordy
tag. Here comes Dr. Death.
Makes the tag, and Wyndham made the tag to Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes in. Right hand's in the elbow. Another right hand, but Dr. Death from behind with a double axe handle. He caught the kid right in the spine.
You know, if you're going to take them both on, you got to go one to the other, back and forth, back and forth. You can't concentrate and go to the corner with just one guy when they're both in the ring, and that's the mistake Rhodes made right there. Dr. Death able to come in and hammer him from behind into a front face lock, back down on the mat, and again, Gordy and Williams with a distinct advantage in this bout.
Gordy and Williams wrestling almost exclusively in tandem, in tag team action. And Doc with that front face lock. Jess, you felt that in your career. As I said earlier, it's one of the most painful maneuvers in the game.
It's a wear-out maneuver, but if you got it on too long, it can be a submission maneuver.
Especially when we get the strength of a Dr. Death Steve Williams.
Absolutely. And look at how they've cut the ring off again. Dustin Rhodes on the wrong side of the ring, the wrong half.
Doc caught him coming off that elbow.
Ooh, and Doc looks like he hurt his knee on that one. He delivered the knee, but grabbed it immediately after.
Gordy back in. Doc made a quick tag. Back in there now. Irish whip, far side. Caught him with a clothesline, and he caught all of it.
Could be over.
Could be, and it probably should be over right here, and we got two out of it. Dustin Rhodes trying to fight his way out of the corner of his adversaries here. This would be, what a, look, he fights, this kid just, he keeps fighting.
Wow,
what a
I'll
flurry.
tell you, gutsy move by the young guy, but he gets cut off again. The veterans that they are, and the best tag team, in my opinion, in the world.
Irish whips him in. Dr. Death's got him up. Takes him to the corner. Dr. Death takes him to another corner, carrying the 260 around, going for the stampede, but Wyndham with a drop kick. Rhodes on top. 1, 2, and Williams kicks out.
Smart move there by Barry Windham's. Dr. Death holding Dustin Rhodes up a little bit too long. Wyndham outside the ring, battling it out with Bam Bam Gordy. Whoa, and Williams misses head first into the buckle.
Dustin trying to get him in the bulldog, but Doc shot him right off, and Dustin ran right into Gordy. On the outside, he's fighting with Wyndham. Oh, clothesline. Doc turned him inside out
It's
with
over.
a clothesline. He hooks the leg, and 1, 2, 3, they've done it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the match, and now NWA World Tag Team Champions, the team of Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy, in a span of 7 days, have not only won the most prestigious title in wrestling, the WCW World Tag Team title, they have just won the NWA World Tag Team Championship as well.
They got them both. They got them both. Not only the NWA titles, but they got the WCW World Heavyweight titles also. They got all 4 of them.
Well, without a doubt, they have got to be considered as the greatest tag team in the game today. Their rematch with the Steiner brothers is really going to be, I got to think of bloodletting. It's going to be awesome. But right now, they are, without a doubt, the greatest tag team in wrestling today. World champions and NWA champions.
Let's see the ending right here. Boom, look at the clothesline by Dr. Death. Dustin Rhodes literally spinning 360 degrees. Look at that. Wham! All the way around. Knocks him cold. but you gotta give Wyndham and Rhodes credit. They put up one hell of a match for their third match of the evening. There you see Williams down, Ole Anderson counting 1, 2, and 3. Barry Windham arriving just a split second too late.
Fans, let's go now to Tony Schiavone and Magnum TA.
Okay, thank you very much, Jim Ross. And it was a big win for Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. They are the tag team champions of the world. There's no question about that. They have all the gold, and I tell you what.
We brought the gold home, baby. We've got the gold. And you know what? The executives, the lawyers from Japan, are they excited now? Call him the hotline, buddy. We're going to call him and tell everybody we are the champion NWA WCW.
Tag team champions of the world, sir.
Well, there's no doubt about that. You know, we told everybody time and time again what we was going to do. We went out and we did just that, Tony Schiavone. We brought them all home. We have got all of it right here, and it's going to be a long, long time before you find a team that can beat this one right here. Tell them, Daddy!
They are the tag team champions of the world, Magnum.
A lot of excitement here tonight. New tag team champions. I'm not quite as surprised by that as I was what happened earlier with Big Van Vader, but the whole wrestling world's got to be buzzing about what's happening in WCW.
Absolutely. And for a final word, we go back to Jim Ross and Jesse the Body Ventura.
All right, thanks very much, guys. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, our next pay-per-view event will be on Sunday, October 25th. It will be Halloween Havoc. We hope that you'll be a part of that tremendous event. We'll be telling you more about it in upcoming weeks on our television network, not only around the country, but on TBS as well. And Jess, I'm a little bit
You're lost
shocked.
for words,
shocked.
Ross, and I'll tell you why. Because your heroes all got beat tonight. You know, it's not a happy crowd here in Albany, Georgia. But things happen like that in World Championship Wrestling. A new heavyweight champion of the world, Big Van Vader, and without a doubt, the top tag team throughout the entire world because they hold both belts, and that's Dr. Death Steve Williams and Terry Bam Bam Gordy. You can go cry in your soup now, Ross.
All right, thanks very much for that advice. Well, I want to tell you that the matchup coming up with Williams and Gordy against the Steiner brothers, as we know, have been signed. It'll be during the Great American Bash Tour, and of course the tour is going to be going on until August the 16th. Also, ladies and gentlemen, when we go off the air, remember that if you'd like to be a part of the Wrestling Hotline, we might want to go back and hear what Big Van Vader and Harley Race are saying. Also, the new NWA Tag Team Champions, Williams and Gordy, on the hotline as well.
Absolutely, it's a chance for the fans to talk firsthand with the greatest wrestlers in the world today, right here in WCW.
And I want to say that a tremendous effort by Sting. I know that he will get a rematch. He certainly deserves a rematch with Big Van Vader. He hit Vader with more moves than Vader has ever sustained. But when he hit that ring post, that was more than he could sustain.
Yep, it spelled the end for Sting. Sting, a great champion, and I agree. Van Vader should give Sting a rematch. And I'm sure that Harley Race and Vader, when they're done celebrating, will sit down and decide probably to do that.
Fans, for Eric Bischoff, Tony Schiavone, Magnum TA, Gary Capetta, and Jesse the Body Ventura, I'm Jim Ross saying we'll see you at Halloween Havoc, everybody.